70 WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network. Listen to the Steve King Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All righty, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm Brian. This is Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Brian. This is Florida's longest running radio show, the Steve King Show. Oh, man, lots happening, lots going on. Lots happening, I tell you. It is. It's Thursday morning. Welcome to the show. We are here live with you. Oh, man. Still getting set up, people. So you cut me a little slack. Still getting set up. Well, I got to tell you, yesterday was a hip happening day in the world of everything going on in the pandemic, what's going on in politics. Governor Andrew Cuomo was asked his very first real question in his press conference yesterday. His answer, pretty twisted. We'll get to that. And also, I believe it was Arizona. Terrible thing happened in Arizona. Now, on yesterday's show, I was talking about a woman in, if I remember correctly, Idaho, a woman who was in a park with her kids, and she was arrested because her kids were playing together in a park. Yesterday, a store owner in Arizona was arrested, put in cuffs, and arrested for being open for business. And, you know, in the era of social media and live streaming, we are seeing things that I have never imagined seeing in the United States of America. And I think that goes for all of you out there, too. I'm going to play, coming up in a bit, the audio of the store owner in Arizona who was arrested. Terrible what they did to him. Terrible what they did to him. And I'll also play this exchange with Governor Cuomo with a reporter yesterday. All of the things that are going on right now are things that I never have imagined happening, and it is really scary. It is really scary. For people who thought it couldn't happen here, I mean, just boom, look at these split, just like that. Also, I was watching last night The Masked Singer. Any of you guys watch The Masked Singer? I enjoy The Masked Singer. I'm not going to do any spoilers on what was on The Masked Singer last night, but I do enjoy The Masked Singer. And pretty much every commercial break that they took, no matter what the company was a commercial that was really upsetting me. You know, I like The Masked Singer. I watch The Masked Singer because I enjoy it. I like music. It's much better than American Idol and all these other shows they got going on. And also, I watch The Masked Singer for escape from the reality of what's going on, right? You know, that's what shows like that are for. Shows like that are so that you can get out of your head about all the worries in the world. Before bed, you put on the television and you watch a rhinoceros and a banana singing hit songs and be judged. And every single commercial break, the commercials were the most depressing commercials. There was a Hanes commercial, cable commercial. No matter what the commercial was for, it was about stay home, stay safe. Sometimes they actually said that, stay home, stay safe. And I'm thinking every time they go to commercial break, it's taken me out of the escapism of having a fun, entertaining television show. And this whole idea of stay home, stay safe. Stay home, stay safe. You know, when I play this exchange between Governor Cuomo and this lady reporter yesterday at his daily press conference, her question was about this. And the people that are saying stay home and stay safe are not dealing with reality. Tell you another thing I saw yesterday in the news. There's a video. I did tweet this because it's going a little viral. The NBC News White House correspondent was on the air, and this little clip of her, she was being interviewed live on MSNBC yesterday by Andrea Mitchell, and there was some wind blowing, and two of the lights fell, and she dodged the lights, and everybody is tweeting this and talking about it. It's all over the place because she dodged the lights when they fell. But that's not what I noticed about it. She was doing the news from the lawn of the White House wearing a mask. Now, maybe a lot of reporters have been doing this for a while, and I don't watch MSNBC, so maybe they've been doing this for weeks. I don't know. But this is the first time I've seen a White House reporter reporting from the lawn of the White House wearing a mask. And I didn't care for it, and I don't think it's responsible. You know, the media, you know, it's one thing if they're down there at ground zero, you know, and all the dust and everything's coming up to wear a mask. You know, that's one thing. But to be in an open air safe space like they are at, to wear a mask doing the news from the White House, that's not news. The purpose of the mask is activism. And this NBC, let me see what her name is. She's I don't know her name. I've seen her around for a long time. She's another one of these winners that they've got over there. Let me get her name here. Christine Welker. Christine Welker. The purpose, and my opinion, right now during this crisis, the news serves several purposes. One of them is to inform us about what is going on. And the other, I think, is to bring calmness to viewers and to the American people. And this NBC News reporter, Kristen Welker, is wearing a mask when she's doing her reporting with Andrea Mitchell on the lawn of the White House for activism. It's a statement. It's to put viewers of the broadcast in a state of concern. I do have a mask that I wear out when I go to public places. I wear it when I leave our studio at 9 a.m. because a lot of people start coming to work around that time. But I'm not wearing it while I'm on the air broadcasting. That would be a stunt. And this NBC News reporter, I believe it's irresponsible for her to wear the mask. You want to bring and should bring reasonable calmness to viewers in a time of crisis, not panic them by wearing a mask when you're out in the open air, social distancing your news from the lawn of the White House. Yeah, fear-mongering. Fear-mongering, but it's almost subtle. Now, have you seen other reporters from the White House wearing masks while they're broadcasting? Usually these White House reporters, they're not into the masks because you can't see their faces, and they want to be on television, they want to be seen. But Kristen Welker, NBC News, wearing the mask, doing her news from the White House is a political statement, and it's an attempt to go viral. It's activism. There's nothing positive about it, and it's not about the news. It's irresponsible for her to wear the mask. All right, listen, I'm going to take our break here. When we get back, I'll jump into the audio sound bites. What would you guys like to hear first? I'll let everybody in the YouTube live chat decide. Do you want to hear the story with the audio of the store owner in Arizona being arrested because he is open for business, even though he's an essential business? Or do you want to hear Governor Andrew Cuomo say very insensitive things? Which would you rather hear when he's asked a tough question? We're going to play both on the show today and talk about both. Which one would you like me to do first? Let me know in the chat room on YouTube Live. My name's Brian. This is The Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back.
3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida
Cuomo?
Talk Network.
I think Cuomo won it out.
If you suffer
Cuomo
with
it
diabetes,
is.
did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care
It will
and
be
has provided
Cuomo.
coverage for For those of you who are at
Cuomo has
reservations,
won out.
I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Soul Authority. At the Soul Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair
I'm
of
not going to play the
high-quality
interview.
diabetic shoes with 3 custom
I'll talk about that
inserts
interview
per
later.
year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Soul Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesoulauthority.com.
The store owner? Very divided.
Authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy
One
your tires
Cuomo,
at Friendly
two
Tire
store
and
owner.
Margate, where they have
One
all the major
Cuomo,
brands
two
like
store
Goodyear
owner.
and
That'll be
Firestone
quick.
at discount prices and absolutely can't be beat. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van. At the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops.
Oh, I don't
around
think I
town.
put that
The
in
price of
my,
Friendly Tire, only $65.
I don't think
That's
I put that in my
$70
thing, you know
savings
what?
per tire. These prices are out
Yeah, I
the
got it.
door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added
No,
charges.
not taking
Friendly Tire
requests.
have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars.
I forgot what
My
one
good
was.
buddy, Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell
Was
him
one
what you
Cuomo
tried
or the
and he
store
will
owner?
give
I
you a
forgot.
great low price right over the phone.
I got a lot on my mind.
954-45, 954-977-94,
One was Cuomo? Yeah, we'll do Cuomo.
45. Online, friendlytire.net.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for it.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. That's right, and still going strong. Welcome back, one and all. Okay, so the vote, it was very divided, but we're going to hear from Governor Cuomo. And, you know, this is the thing. Governor Cuomo and his family are a bunch of jerks. You know, even back to the day of the dad. I was a kid when Governor Mario Cuomo was running around. I was just a kid back then, but he was always attacking Ronald Reagan for the arms buildup in the arms race with the Soviet Union. We don't need another missile! You remember all that? He made some big speech at the DNC convention. Wanted to be president, never made it. And everything Mario Cuomo advocated for, I'm sorry, maybe I misspoke. Everything that Mario Cuomo advocated against, all those things resulted in the collapse of the Soviet Union, thanks to Ronald Reagan. So, you know, the Cuomos have a long history of being wrong about everything. Chris Cuomo broke isolation, went out, got the corona, gave it to his wife. We got an update yesterday. He gave it to his son now. His teenage son, Chris Cuomo, has the corona. Great job of that. I thought you were staying down there in the basement, other than the times you were caught out, like on Easter Sunday, Chris Cuomo. And, of course, Governor Cuomo has been holding court for weeks every day with this press conference with some of the most suck-up press questions I've ever heard. And for the very first time, he was asked a real question. I know a lot of people would say a tough question, but I don't think the question was tough. It was just a real question with follow-ups, and it really became almost an interview with this lady reporter. I don't know who she is, but she's damn good. I don't care if she's with the New York Times. I don't care who she's with. She put the governor on the spot. So let's play it. We'll talk about it. And it really shows you how out of touch Governor Cuomo is, how self-centered Governor Cuomo is, and maybe even sadistic. So let me pull it up here. Lady reporter, Governor Cuomo's press conference yesterday.
I don't know if you can hear, but there are protesters outside right now honking their horns and raising signs.
Okay, now this is absolutely amazing. Did you see any of this in the news? Right outside from where Governor Cuomo is having his daily press conference, there are protesters honking their horns, holding up signs, wanting to go back to work. Where's that on TV? Any of you see that on TV? I've seen protests in Colorado and Arizona, even one here in Hollywood, Florida. But I haven't seen anyone protesting Cuomo, and the reporter let the cat out the bag. Did any of you see these New York protests? On TV? I didn't see them.
I don't know if you can hear, but there are protesters outside right now honking their horns and raising signs. We did speak to a few of them before we came in, and these are regular people who are not getting a paycheck. Some of them are not getting their unemployment check. And they're saying that they don't have time to wait for all of this testing, and they need to get back to work in order to feed their families.
Wow, in order to feed their families. Yeah, so basically what we have going on, I don't say this with pleasure. This makes me really sad because we're in the United States. There are protesters outside. Where is he holding these press conferences in New York anyway? I don't know where, but wherever he is. Governor Cuomo has basically outside this protest of people honking their horns. It's a food protest. It's a food protest. Like they had back in Mother Russia during the days of the Tsar. These are just people that want bread. They can't afford bread. They have no bread. They've got kids. And these protests in New York outside the governor's press conference, journalistic malpractice. I haven't seen one piece of film. I haven't seen one story about it. I did not even know what happened until this lady brought it up. Food protest in the state of New York, in the United States of America.
People who are not getting a paycheck, some of them are not getting their unemployment check, and they're saying that they don't have time to wait for all of this testing, and they need to get back to work in order to feed their families. Their savings is running out. They don't have another week. They're not getting answers. So
these are people who are not allowed to work because of the governor. They have children and they have no money left to feed them. This is New York. Let's hear what the governor says.
The cure can't be worse than the illness itself.
Yeah.
What is your response to that?
The illness is death. What is worse than death?
What if somebody commits suicide because they can't pay their
Yeah,
bills?
but
Wow. I mean, what? Does anyone know who this reporter is? She is damn good. I don't care if she's a Democrat. I don't care if she's with some liberal rag. She's good.
Than the illness itself.
Yeah.
What is your response to that?
the illness is death. What is worse than death?
What if somebody commits suicide because they can't pay their
Yeah,
bills?
but the illness is maybe my death.
Oh, it's all about Governor Cuomo. Yeah, but what about me? The me. What the hell? This is insanity. This is insanity.
Be worse than the illness itself.
Yeah.
What is your response to that?
The illness is death. What is worse than death?
What if somebody commits suicide because they can't pay their
Yeah,
bills?
but the illness is maybe my death as opposed to your death.
Wow.
You said they said the cure is worse than the illness. The illness is death.
See, Governor Cuomo here is rich. He was born wealthy. Nothing wrong with being born wealthy. I wish that I was. But he's never wanted anything other than power, fame, and glory. He's never wanted for food. He's never worried about the car getting repossessed. He's never worried about a foreclosure or an eviction. He was born wealthy. He was born with the golden ticket of his dad being the governor and a prominent Democrat years ago. He has no empathy for these people that are out there honking their horns that the media won't show us outside of the press conference, who are saying, I'm out of money, my kids need to eat, and I have no money to buy food for my children. I just want to go to work, Governor. I don't have a trust fund. I don't have a salary coming in like you do. I'm not rich. I don't have rich relatives like you do either. Even if you lost everything, you have wealthy relatives. We just want to feed our kids.
They can't bills.
Yeah, but the illnesses may be my death as opposed to your death. You said they said the cure is worse than the illness. The illness is death. How can the cure be worse than the illness if the illness is potential death?
What if the economy failing
Worse than death?
is equals death
Very
for,
few-
because
no,
of mental
but it
illness,
doesn't.
the
No, it
people,
doesn't.
the people stuck at home.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't equal death. Economic hardship. Yes, very bad. Not death.
Economic hardship. You know, this is a guy who smokes $100 cigars, right? Remember in the early days he was trying to bet reporters? He doesn't understand that $20 or $50, what that would mean to one of these people out there honking horns who just want to go back to work. They don't want a government check. They don't want a government handout. They just want to be able to go back to their job so they can feed their families. They don't have a trust fund. They don't have a government salary.
Emotional stress from being locked in a house. Very bad. Not death. Domestic violence on the increase.
What about sending your kids to bed hungry at night, Governor Cuomo? In your state. No child should go hungry anywhere in America. This is the richest country in the world. And I never thought I would hear talk like this from a public official, especially the governor of a major state.
Increase. Very bad. Not death. And not death of someone else. See, that's what we have to factor into this equation. Yeah, it's your life. Do whatever you want. But you're now responsible for my life.
It gets worse. I'm going to take the break. When we get back, I'll play the rest of Governor Cuomo's very sadistic, unsympathetic, uncaring. Maybe Pelosi could fly in some of that ice cream. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. I know we got a lot of New Yorkers out there. I'd love to hear people's thoughts on Governor Cuomo. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Still want to call him President Cuomo? 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. When we get back, we'll finish up with that. I'm Brian. This is The Steve Kane Show.
95.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
Frank, the owner of Ace Hardware Deerfield and Beach Ace Hardware, wants you and your family to be protected during the coronavirus pandemic and has an incredible offer for listeners of The Steve Kane Show.
We get products continually coming in during after the week. We get disinfectants, bleach, gloves, cleaning supplies. Everybody's looking for face masks. So the best thing that we came up with was a face covering. A lot of the cities are going to ask you to cover your face. So we've got a supply of bandanas. I'd love if every one of your customers that come in a free bandana just for mentioning the Steve Kane Show. The bandanas are face covering, and the cities are going to require, as we start to go back to work and get out, that everybody's required to have their face covered. So you can use this bandana to cover
Narcissist,
your mouth
uncaring,
and your nose and
spoiled, rich snob.
protect all those around you. The other thing is, while
Steve
you're
Kane
home,
Show.
why don't you get that honeydew list done? It's that
Steve
cleaning
Kane
project
Show.
or sprinkler supply, or maybe treat yourself to a new grill.
Wow, what a
Yeah,
great
what's your
deal.
name?
These bandanas are reusable because you can wash them. So stop into Ace Hardware in Deerfield, just south
Okay,
of
hold on.
Hillsborough
I'll take it
Boulevard,
for- hold
on
on.
the west side of US 1, and Beach Ace Hardware, located at 232 Commercial Boulevard, Lauderdale by the Sea. And get your free bandana from Ace Hardware.
This is Steve Kane for attorney Barry Seal. Barry did a great job for me and my family when we needed a revocable living trust. Listen to one of our listeners, Ray, talk about his experience with Barry Seal.
I want to praise Barry Siegel. And one of the most important things about sponsors is integrity.
2S, what's
And you
2S,
have to
Linda?
know that you're dealing with an honest person. I had to go up to Myrtle
No,
Beach
hold on.
with my sister because her husband died. And I was helping her out. She had a trust and everything. She had not revised this trust since 1997. department. And, you know, Barry says every 3 years at least you got to... I called Barry's office because I had a question. I let the secretary know. I said, look, I'm calling from South Carolina. I know the laws are different. And I'm just asking for information for my sister. Now, you know, most people just blow you off, right?
Yeah.
You know, almost immediately, within a few minutes, Barry himself called me. Barry himself called me. I asked my questions and so on, and he answered. He was very patient. And I was quite a while with him, and talked about a lot of things, you know, and this and that. But I wanted to say, you know, character, integrity, these are the most important things with sponsors, and all of your sponsors, because I've dealt with a lot of them, they all have that you can trust them, and you know you're getting a fair shake.
Do what Ray did. Call attorney Barry Siegel right now. Toll free 1-855-FLA-3782. That's 1-855 toll free FLA-3782. Tell them Steve sent you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeart.
All right. We are back. I'm Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest running radio show, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Governor Andrew Cuomo giving a very sadistic, uncaring, sicko press conference yesterday. We'll take some calls before we get to the rest of it. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Oh, good morning, Brian. This is Eric.
Oh.
I'm actually not related to what's happening right now. I just wanted to bring you up about when Steve comes on the air. You're going to kill me for this, but there's a microphone issue with him.
Okay, what is it? Tell me.
Okay. When Steve gets, I don't know what type, you're using a microphone on the end of a stand, right?
Yes, correct.
Like hanging in front of you?
Correct.
What does Steve use?
Well,
What
Steve
does
has.
Steve use?
Well, I'll talk to you about this on the air, even though it's a major disruption of what I'm doing. But he has
Sorry, I apologize.
That's okay. He has a headset mic.
So the lavalier mic is hanging in front on his head. It's like over the head, and then it's hanging in front of him, sort of like a sportscaster.
Yes.
It makes a really weird noise.
What kind of noise?
A popping noise. I'm surprised you don't know this. Nobody's told you about it.
Oh, you mean a pop? Well, the problem. Okay, I'll give you a little technical thing on Steve, and this has been going on with Steve since I've been working with Steve. Steve, it's very difficult to get levels on Steve on any mic because Steve always moves the mic and he talks very loud when he starts talking. Like when he comes back from a break, all right, we're back, and then he'll talk like this. You know what I mean? So anytime, so when you hear Steve first start talking, he's always done this. He talks really loud. In fact, it's a problem when anytime I've recorded a commercial, it's the same thing. So that's just how Steve talks. Mm-hmm. And if you notice, right after he says the first couple words, it's okay.
If you think so, because for the whole hour that he's on, 7 to 8 to 9, it's popping.
I'll keep my eye out on it. I keep my eye out. Appreciate the call. Okay, why couldn't the guy tell me that off the air? I'm in the middle of this huge dramatic thing with Governor Cuomo. Why couldn't the guy was on hold here on the speaker during the whole break? I don't mind constructive criticism. I'm not beyond constructive criticism, okay? I would prefer Steve not wear a headset mic. I don't use a headset mic. I use a mic on a stand. So I don't, you know. But what the hell? The guy sat here on hold during the whole break, right? And I had the phone on speakerphone. He heard me talking. He could have told me that during the break. You know, that's what it's like when you do anything public. So I appreciate the caller for screwing up the whole show. Is it popping enough now? I'm gonna go back to what we were doing. Jerk. It's true. Disrupted the flow. But you know what? You can't disrupt the flow here. The show will always go on. And it will. All right, let me get back to this. So this brilliant reporter, I'm going to start it from the beginning. This brilliant reporter, is it okay if I start it from the beginning again for people that might have had the show disrupted from technical jerk? Governor Cuomo is a sick, twisted man. Every response that he gives to this woman who asked him this question makes him look worse. The parts I've played are not even the worst parts. We're halfway through it. But I'm going to rewind it and start it over. Here we go. This is the press conference yesterday.
I don't know if you can hear, but there there are protesters outside right
What a
now.
jerk.
honking
He
their
sat
horns
here
and
on freaking
raising
hold on the
signs.
speakerphone
We
for
did
2
speak to a
minutes,
few of them
and he didn't
before
say, hey.
we came in, and these are regular people who are not getting a paycheck. Some of them are not getting their
Democrat.
unemployment check. And
Doesn't
they're
want us
saying
doing
that
this.
they don't have time to wait for all of this testing, and they need to get back to work in order to feed their families. Their savings is running out. They don't have another week. They're not getting answers. So their point is the cure can't be worse than the illness itself.
Yeah.
What is your response to that?
The illness is death. What is worse than death?
Well, what if somebody commits suicide because they can't pay their
Yeah,
bills?
but the illness is maybe my death.
Wow. So you got the state of New York shut down for yourself? And let me tell you something about this governor. And I'm getting, the more I hear it, the more angry I get. Maybe it's because I'm angry at that last caller. But there is a protest outside of the press conference that no one in the media is covering. They're honking horns and holding signs, begging to go back to work. They're out of money. This reporter interviewed some of them. They have no money to feed their kids. And Governor Cuomo says, yeah, but what about me? He's got a brother who went out, got the corona, gave it to his wife and kid, and CNN goes to great lengths so that he can work from home. And these are rich guys. These people out front honking their horn are paycheck to paycheck people, many of them. Maybe all of them, I don't know, and they're broke. This is the most uncaring, unsympathetic, sadistic, political press conference I've ever seen. Back to it.
As opposed to your death. You said, they said, the cure is worse than the illness. The illness is death. How can the cure be worse than the illness if the illness is potential death?
What if the economy failing
Worse than death?
is equals death
Very
because
no,
of
but
mental
it
illness,
doesn't.
the
No, it
people
doesn't.
stuck at home.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't equal death. Economic hardship. Yes, very bad. Not death.
Yeah, really? Senior rich kids. Remember when he brought his daughter to the press conference a few weeks ago? She was talking about her sacrifice. She wasn't going on vacation on spring break. Oh, poor baby. Oh, the princess, her life has been interrupted. She can't go to Cabo, wherever she's going. These are people who are sending their kids to bed at night with empty stomachs, Cuomo.
Emotional stress from being locked in a house. Very bad. Not death. Domestic violence on the increase. Very bad. Not death.
Wow. Holy. So if you're a woman, where's Me Too at? Where the hell is Me Too? I've got an itch on my back, but I've got a back scratcher here in the studio. That noise, that's my back scratcher. Oh man, that feels good. Okay. Where the hell is Me Too? If you're a woman who's getting the crap beaten out of you by your husband because of corona in your home, it's not as bad as death. Let me go back.
From being locked in a house. Very bad. Not death. Domestic violence on the increase. Very bad. Not death.
You know, has anybody ever seen real domestic violence? I have. Not in my family, by the way. Hold on. When I was a kid, I was very young. I don't know how old I was, but I was like maybe 11. I was with my dad and some people, and we were over. He was visiting some friends, and I was so little that I went to bed at night. Hold on. I went to bed at night, with the kids, you know, and in the middle of the night I got woken up and pulled out, and this couple that my dad and his lady friend at the time were visiting got involved in a domestic dispute. The wife was on the floor of the living room. Her husband was on top of her with a knife to her throat, and I had to walk around them with their kids. And I remember it clear as a day. He says, "You want me to cut you?" And he used the B word. "I'll do it," you know, the whole thing. And I saw her a couple days later. She was beaten to a pulp. But Governor Cuomo says that's not as bad as death if you're dealing with that from the corona.
Economic hardship. Yes, very bad. Not death. Emotional stress from being locked in a house. Very bad. Not death. Domestic violence on the increase. Very bad. Not death.
Wow. Has this guy ever been out of his mansion? Good morning, you're on the radio.
Hey, Brian, it's Jeff from Maine.
Hey, Jeff, you don't have any technical gripes that you could talk to me about off the air about, do you? Like that last jerk.
No.
Okay,
You know,
what a jerk.
the only thing I could say, Brian, is that Cuomo is playing on the fears of the New York State citizens. Our politicians should be trying to calm people and telling them it's going to be all right. We're doing what we can, like President Trump and his team's doing. We are going to win this. And they are fear-mongering.
Yeah.
And bringing this up. And my last point, Brian, is come November 3rd, 2020, we're going to re-elect President Trump, and we're going to show them we're tired of him.
Now, when Governor Cuomo says that domestic violence is on the rise, it's bad, but it's not death, is he telling women who are being beaten by their husbands to stay at home? What's he saying when he says that?
Yeah, it's asinine. It doesn't make any sense, that statement. You're right.
Yeah. What an
That's crazy.
you know, the word I would use to describe him, is a word I wouldn't say on the radio, but you know, he's just he's an AH is what he. I mean, you know, he is born to privilege. A lot of people are born to privilege. Donald Trump was. But he's an out-of-touch, spoiled, rich brat snob who never had a real job, who had everything handed to him because his dad was Mario Cuomo. He has no sympathy. He has no empathy for anyone, which is a characteristic that others have had that are very famous people like Ted Bundy. You know, I have never heard such an uncaring politician in my life. And these protests outside that the reporter mentioned of the press conference, to go back to work protests like we've seen in Arizona and Colorado. Have you seen in the news anywhere that this was going on in New York? I haven't.
Not once.
No. This is insane.
It's very insane, Brian. The Democrat Party has lost their freaking mind. If they think they're going to beat President Trump, and I think this is going to kill them in 2024 because people are not going to forget what they've done.
Well, you know, here's Cuomo. He's on that high horse holding court every day. And since he's been out there as the big man on campus every day, now things are... I said in the beginning, eventually what's going on in New York is going to come out, and we're hearing it. It is... Let me tell you something. Shame on Fox News. They're based in New York City. They're based in New York. And I didn't even see... Did anyone see on Fox News this huge back-to-work protest outside of the press conference of Cuomo yesterday? I didn't see it. First I heard of it was that. All right, appreciate the call. Appreciate the call. You're on the radio. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You're on the air.
I'm going to do this now before Steve comes in because I get upset about this. But when you played that clip of Cuomo, all I heard was Emperor Palpatine saying the virus is death.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah.
No, I'm so sorry. I was trying to lighten the mood a little bit. But
why are you going to lighten the mood? Why do you want to lighten the mood? What do you want to lighten the mood for? This is not a time to lighten the mood. I get it. You're trying to make a joke. You know, I like Star Wars. Okay, all right. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What's going on here? What's going on here? All right, let's take the break and we'll get back to Governor Palpatine here. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977. We'll be right back.
5.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van. At the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for
These
my daughter
callers
Emily's
today.
car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Feeling old, tired, broken down? This is Dr. Mitchell Matez of the Boca Raton Center for Age Management, and I can fix it. In 2005, we introduced South Florida to the amazing implantable hormone pellet. These safe and effective pellets will reverse the signs and symptoms of the aging process and leave you feeling fantastic. Energy, sex drive, and weight control are just a phone call away. If you want to feel good again, if you want to look good again, and you want to function well again, call me, Dr.
Yeah, good
Matez
question,
at the
Jeff.
Boca Raton Center for
Zero.
Age Management at 561-953-5490. That's 561-953-5490. Or visit our website at hormonetherapybocaraton.com.
If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the sole authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients
thank you,
are
Jeff.
entitled
Good
to
call,
one
Jeff.
pair
Good call.
of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the sole authority today, 954-597-7060.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
Oh my goodness. All right, welcome back. You know what it is? I'm hard on these callers. The Palpatine guy, the Mike guy. And you know what it is? These are guys, they're not working probably right now, so they got a lot of energy. So they're trolling. All right, let's get back to this. So let me rewind just a little bit. If you're just tuning in, and I'll play this later in its entirety again on the show later, because this has got to be heard. Governor Cuomo was asked some really tough questions. He was just telling us that domestic violence is terrible, and it's on the increase in New York, but it's not as bad as death. Talking about there's a protest going on about the ending the lockdown and getting back to work in the state of New York.
Emotional stress from being locked in a house. Very bad. Not death. Domestic violence on the increase. Very bad. Not death. And not death of someone else. See, that's what we have to factor into this equation. Yeah, it's your life. Do whatever you want. But you're not responsible for your life. You have a responsibility to me. It's not just about you. You have a responsibility to me, right? We started here saying it's not about me, it's about we. Get your head around the we concept. So it's not all about you. It's about me too. It's about we. Also,
if being locked up in the house is so safe, Governor Cuomo, how is it that your brother infected his wife and kid, your sister-in-law and nephew with the corona?
The economic hardship. Everybody gets it. Everybody feels it. Federal government is sending out a check for individuals, $600, an additional $1,200. We are moving heaven and earth to get the unemployment payments going. So we get the economic anxiety.
No, you don't. You're rich.
Is how do you respond to it? And do you respond to it in a way that jeopardizes public health and possibly causes more people to die?
Well, you're the one whose brother was out breaking quarantine in the Hamptons and confronted a bicyclist on Easter Sunday. So who the hell are you to be telling these people that don't have trust funds or millions in the bank, that don't have food, money to buy food for their children, women that are victims of domestic violence, to just put up with it? It's about we, not me, and we're in this together.
Think about it as if it was your family that might get infected.
Like yours.
And that's what we're talking about. And when you think about it as your family, you have a different perspective. I'll tell you the truth. It's not an abstract argument where they say, he says, she says, he says, she says. I know that's how it works. Well, protesters say this, governor says this, protesters say this, governor says this. Okay, think about it as your family might be in the mix. Because when I see 484 New Yorkers die, I feel that it's like people in my family. And nothing comes before the public health risk of somebody else's life. And that's where we are.
Now now the reporter's coming back. This reporter, she is very good. She's coming back. Listen to this.
But they're also saying, you can't afford to pay me unemployment, or your system
You
is
will
not
be
set up.
paid. You will be paid.
Yeah, but my kids can't eat tonight. See, I wasn't born with a famous rich father who set me up. I wasn't born into a family where just because my last name is Cuomo, I could become a multimillionaire. Like you and your brother with your Hamptons homes. You know? Can't wait around for a month or 6 months or 6 days. I got no food now for my kids, Gov. Jerk.
They can't wait for the money. They can't wait for the money. They're out of money.
Yeah, we're talking about a couple of days lag on the unemployment insurance.
Bull crap.
They will get the check from the date of unemployment. Does not cost them an extra penny. Now, they can say unemployment insurance isn't enough. I get it.
No, you don't.
Even with the $600 check and the $1,200 check and the unemployment insurance benefit is not enough. I understand the economic hardship. We all feel it. The question is, what do you do about it? And do you put public health at risk? And do you drive up the number of deaths?
Yeah, like your brother has, right? Left quarantine with the corona.
Number of deaths for it. Because you have no idea how to reopen now.
They're saying that, is there a fundamental right to work if the government can't get me the money when I need it? Is there
Yeah,
a fundamental right
you want to go to
to
work? Go take a job as an essential worker. Do it tomorrow.
Wow. What does that mean? Like your brother, become a member of the media? Become a bus driver? What are you talking about? You want people to go and seek work tomorrow? Wouldn't that violate your order to keep the people under house arrest, Governor Cuomo? Holy cow. Have you heard anything so sick from an elected official? That's who's running New York? Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. Oh, man. So glad to be in Florida with a great governor, Ron DeSantis. And each and every day I see things busier and busier as I go through my day. Oh, yeah. That's a sick man. I want to hear your comments. 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. I want to first tell you about Friendly Tire in Margate. Oh, man. Friendly Tire in Margate. I've been a customer for over a decade. They've been with us here on the Steve Kane Show now about a year. And I know so many of you have used them and continue to use them. Every time I stop by Friendly Tire in Margate, I run into a listener or two. I was just over there yesterday after the show, touching base with Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. And, the deals they have over there cannot be beat. They cannot be beat. You will not find deals on new tires or used tires like these anywhere else. The new tire prices are out of this world. My daughter's car, the lowest price I could find around town, $135 a tire. Friendly Tire's price, $65 a tire. A $70 savings per tire. I went in to buy 2 tires. I got her 4 new tires. And by the way, $65 a tire for brand new tires, not $135. That's out the door and on the road, because Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to mount the tire, balance the tire, dispose of your old tire. The price is the price, out the door and on the road. My wife's car, the lowest price I could find around town, $165 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. A $90 savings per tire. That's out the door and on the road. Steve Kane's van, the lowest price around town, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, $75 a tire. Brand new tires, out the door and on the road. A $100 savings per tire. He has all the name brands you know and love. If you have a hard-to-find tire, a strange size, specialty tires, commercial vehicles, a sports car, run flats, incredible savings on all of those tires too. So if you have a commercial fleet, call Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. He'll take very good care of you on your commercial vehicles as well. He has an incredible selection of used tires. That's right, starting at just $30 on most sizes. And they're very good used tires. Very good. $30 on most sizes. Great deals over there. Give Friendly Mike a call. He'll give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net, or just stop right in. The address is listed at stevekaneshow.com if you want to plug it into your GPS. The address, 5415 Northwest 15th Street in Margate. 15th Street, just north of Coconut Creek Parkway, on the east side of 441 State Road 7. All right. It's the top of the hour. Hour number 2 begins now. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be right back.
85.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
Hurricane season is right around the corner, and the predictions are that the 2020 hurricane season will be busier than normal, with 16 named storms predicted, 8 turning into hurricanes, and 4 growing into major hurricanes. That's according to scientists at Colorado State University. That's 3 more named storms and hurricanes, and 2 more major hurricanes than they predicted at this time last year. Do you have the hurricane coverage you need and the coverage you want for your home, condominium, or commercial property? In case a hurricane hits, call Debbie at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. Debbie will review your policy at no charge and make sure you have the coverage you want and the coverage you need. Once a hurricane hits, it's too late. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors right now. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Soul Authority. At the Soul Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to 1 pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems
Steve Kane
before
Show.
they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective
Mike,
is
hold
wearing
on.
the
You'll be
proper
first after
shoes.
the break.
Call the Soul Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesoulauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
This is Steve Kane for attorney Barry Seal. Barry did a great job for me and my family when we needed a revocable living trust. Listen to one of our listeners,
like the
Ray,
phones this
talk
way.
about his experience
It's
with
easier
Barry
for
Seal.
me
I
to
want
run
to
the
praise
show.
Barry Siegel, and one of the
So
most
I'm not
important
really,
things about
you know, it's easier for
sponsors
me.
is integrity. You have to know that
I didn't
you're
even
dealing
check
with
them
an
this
honest
morning to
person.
see if they
I
worked.
had to go
This
to
is much
Myrtle
better
Beach
for
with
me.
my
Let me see.
sister because her husband died, and I was helping her out. She had a
No,
trust.
I'll touch base after
She
the
had
show.
not revised
I know it
this
seems
trust
ridiculous,
since
doesn't it?
1997. And you know, Barry says every 3 years at least you got to. I called Barry's office because I had a question. I let the secretary know. I said, look, I'm calling from South Carolina. I know the laws are different, and I'm just asking for information for my sister. Now, you know, most people would just blow you off, right? Yeah. You know, almost immediately, within a few minutes, Barry himself called me. I asked my questions and so on, and he answered. He was very patient. And I was quite a while with him, and talked about a lot of things, you know, and this and that. But I wanted to say, you know, character, integrity, these are the most important things with sponsors, and all of your sponsors, because I've dealt with a lot of them, they all have that you can trust them and you know you're getting a fair shake.
Do what Ray did. Call attorney Barry Siegel right now. Toll free 1-855-FLA-3782. That's 1-855 toll free FLA-3782. Tell him Steve sent you.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE. 1. That's...
Oh, yes. Hour number 2 has begun. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Our number toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-KANE 1. 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. If you missed the first hour, you missed a hell of a lot. We played a Q&A with Governor Cuomo yesterday that was just disturbing to hear what the governor said. Just disturbing. We found that there's major get back to work protest in New York outside of, I guess it's the Capitol. I don't know where he does the press conferences from, but wherever he's doing them, huge protest yesterday, zero news coverage. In fact, I would call it a news blackout. It's like they're suppressing it. It's pretty brutal, isn't it? Yeah. Lead story on Fox. AOC's in her apartment in the Bronx, which I'm going to play for you, but you're telling me that's the lead with that going on? I know he's in Albany, but I don't know. He's at the State House. I don't know. It's pretty bad. But you know, what's going on in this country, mostly under Democrat-controlled areas, is frightening. Frightening. Even in areas where you have a Republican governor, you still have local officials at the county and city levels who are Democrats. Now, and they're towing the party line. This is insane to me. A business owner was arrested. He was put in cuffs by the police for being open for business in Arizona. And, I mean, I never thought something like this would happen in America. You're going to listen to this exchange, and it's frightening. It's frightening. The guy is 71 years old. He has a store in Arizona where only essential businesses... You know, this is the other thing. I told this a few weeks ago. Essential workers and essential businesses. Everyone's job is essential to them and their family. I don't care what it is, so long as it's legal. Okay? If you're a hairdresser, if you're a stripper, not that I'm comparing hairdressers to strippers, if you are a barber, no matter what you do, your job is essential to you and your family, because that's how you pay your bills, feed yourself, feed your kids, take care of your family. This list, I'm going to become essential. Oh, snooty, jerk. So this business owner out in Arizona, he's 71 years old. He has a business that didn't fit the essential categories, so he made some changes to his business so that he could comply and remain open for business. Started carrying food, paper towels, feed, pet foods, and things like this. And the police come in. and arrest him in Arizona for being open for business. I'm going to play this exchange. Is this the America that you were born into? Is this the America that you know? What is going on in our great country? I'll tell you what's going on. Democrats, that's what's going on. And Democrats love to take your rights away, your freedoms away, your liberty from you. Okay, so this is a 71-year-old business owner. You'll hear him. This audio and video was captured on the police body cam. Here it is, Arizona business owner.
Hi, man. How are you?
How are you doing?
Yeah.
We open today.
Absolutely.
I believe
The louder voice is the cop.
you have already been given a warning about being open, not being open. How are you in compliance?
I changed my license. I'm not just a souvenir store now.
Okay.
I am a department store. Indian department store. I am
So you
handling
changed your
hay.
name?
I am handling hay. I am handling paper towels, food, dog food. I'm starting. I'm getting a bunch of new stuff.
What kind of food are you handling?
What kind?
With musketeers?
Oh, so now we got the food police in here. Got the food police. What constitutes food? I like this this overweight police officer to tell me what constitutes food when he's going through his day.
Yeah, anything. And so I'm in compliance. I'm legal, and I have a right to be in business. And made these other products. I just getting prepared to get a big load of hay. I got hay in here. I got people coming in to buy it. I'm in compliance. Thank you.
Okay. Can I see your license real quick?
Huh?
Can I see your license?
Sure.
He's asking for his business license. This is the police officers. This is from the body cam, Arizona. 71-year-old business owner.
Sure.
I don't want you to feel like we're harassing you or
No, but you are.
How?
Because I already talked to the police yesterday. They talked to you about it. Did they say anything to you about it?
Yeah, that's why we're here.
Huh?
That's why we're here.
Well,
It's because they told us you were reopened after you were told not to.
no, I changed.
When did this change?
Huh?
When did you get this
It
change?
doesn't matter when I got it.
Okay.
It doesn't.
So he is trying to wave around his licensing.
Okay, now what's going on here, this is all from police body cam. The lead officer on the scene, that beep is his radio. He's calling his supervisor, I guess his sergeant. We don't hear the sergeant, we just hear his side of the conversation.
Is now a department store. Issue date was 3/20.
The law, man. I can.
So it says
I
issue
can be a
3/24. So
So now this is interesting. So what happened was, he's got a souvenir shop in Arizona. He sells Indian souvenirs. Didn't fit with the shutdown order. So he went out, started carrying feed, pet food, essentials, paper towels, some food items, bologna and candy bars and whatever he's got in there, and went out and got a new license. He relicensed his business with the local officials as a department store. And now what they're telling him, the police that are harassing this 71-year-old guy every day, because they were there the day before, they're back today, they don't approve of the food that he's selling because it's not healthy enough. Have you seen most police officers out there? Do they look like they're vegans? Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. I know we got a lot of police officers that listen, but come on. And also, they're taking issue with him that he went and made changes to his business after the lockdown order so he could remain open. They're accusing him of being a scammer.
no, it's all scam. Okay. Okay. All right, we will get it taken care of. Thanks.
Government's killing everything.
Hear that? The business owner, the house business, the cop says. See, there's one cop here who's a decent guy, and then you got this other son of a gun who has an accent. The cop that's giving him the hard time sounds like, that's not an American accent. I'm hearing a mix of an American accent with something else. Not sure exactly what. But anyway, regardless, First Lady has an accent too. It's out in Arizona. The one cop says, how's business? It's terrible. About 2 people came in today or yesterday, whatever. The government's killing business. See, this guy don't care. They're on the government dole. They're cops. They get paid no matter what. That's how authoritarian regimes maintain control.
No, it's all snapped. Okay.
Cause business then though.
Okay.
Overall. It's dead, man.
All right, we will get it taken care of.
You know,
Thanks.
government's killing everything.
So,
I get 1 or 2 people a day. Corona Bologna. And look at all the people over there. Look at all the people, you know, everywhere. I mean,
well, unfortunately, you are getting the citation. I need to take a picture of that. I need to take a picture of that. And I need to
okay,
take
this is documentation. Looking all right. That's right. Driver's license on you? I'm not driving.
Okay. Tell you what, go ahead and arrest him, put him in handcuffs, and then a search incident to arrest, get your hands out.
What are you arresting me for?
Put your hands behind your back.
Identify myself. There's my. It's on my thing.
No, it's not.
Here, I'll give you my license. No, you already. Okay, then you guys are gonna be in trouble.
Well, this is amazing.
That's fine. Yeah, let's take him out. Check his ID. Well, if you're open for business, we have that right.
And so I.
If you're open for business, we have that right to arrest you. And they put him in the cruiser and drive away with him. 71-year-old man. Hey, it's scary. All these people ask these questions all the time. There's endless college lectures. How did the Holocaust happen? How did Hitler come to power? How did Chavez come to power? How did Castro come to power? You know, and all these endless gobbledygook things, you know, that they talk about. And the reason is because you have leftists who have major control over people. They have these essential workers, law enforcement and some others, that comply with everything the government says because they don't want their paychecks cut off. It's tyranny. It's tyranny. And, you know, neither of these police officers that I saw in the cam, well, you only see one police officer clearly because it's a body cam. I didn't see a mask on the guy. And how's that social distancing work when you're handcuffing someone? A nonviolent 71-year-old man that you're arresting for being in business. Wow. 1-888-GO-CANE-1 is our number. I know some of you have been calling him. I'd love to talk to you now. I'm sorry. I wanted to get through some of these things before I took the calls. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. My name's Brian. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be right back.
Best night's sleep in the whole wide world is MyPillow.com.
You've heard the jingle and seen the commercials, and that's right. You will get the best night's sleep you've ever had with a MyPillow. Have you not gotten your MyPillow yet? Right now is the best time to do it.
That's right, Brian. Hey guys, this is Brian's wife, Kathy, and this is the best time to get a MyPillow. They have amazing deals. Take advantage of them now.
Go to MyPillow.com, click the radio listener link, and you will see all these great deals. Like the buy one MyPillow, get one for free. There's a BOGO offer right now on the Giza Dream Sheets. Buy one set of MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets and get the second set free.
You gotta love BOGO deals. They're the best. And you can take advantage of so many right now at MyPillow.com.
There's a lot of other deals too. Again, go to MyPillow.com, click on that radio listener link, and you've got to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout to get these incredible deals. So go right now to MyPillow.com, click the radio listener special. Make sure to use that promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout to take advantage of all of the great deals. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. Make sure to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, 1-800-716-4879.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Right now, the U.S. is in the midst of a deadly opioid epidemic. In South Florida alone, someone suffers an overdose every 2 hours, either from heroin, fentanyl, or some other prescription medication that's as close as the family medicine cabinet. In fact, Mom and Dad's medicine cabinet is frequently the gateway to the horrors of hardcore addiction down the road. Drug problems left unattended are only going to get worse. This is not something you can do on your own. You need expert professional help, and if your family is disintegrating in front of your eyes and you feel helpless, I'm here to tell you that help is available. Call my good friend Sal at the Edge Recovery, 561 area code 523-4325. This is his personal cell phone, 561-523-4325. If your loved one refuses treatment, the Edge Recovery will conduct an intervention and get them into the treatment plan that they need. The Edge Recovery offers every option, from intervention to 30-day rehab to sober living to counseling with a licensed therapist, as well as group therapy treatment. It's covered by most insurance, but no matter what your situation is, the Edge Recovery has options for you. Call Sal at the Edge Recovery. Do it today. 561 area code 523-4325. Again, that's Sal's personal cell phone, 561-523-4325.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. I know these are some terrible things we're hearing today on the show. We've been on the air for an hour and 20 minutes, and some of the most disturbing things I've ever heard in America we've heard in the last hour, haven't we? I know. I've never. I think I'm in the 8 o'clock hour. I think I might play the Governor Cuomo part again, because that's scary. They didn't carry that on Fox. I know it was on CNN, probably MSNBC too. The Soul Authority. Correct. Soul Authority's been a sponsor of the Steve Kane Show for quite some time. All Steve Kane sponsors are open. The Soul Authority, we've been talking a lot about house calls, and they do house calls. The doctor, she will come out to your home for anything that they would do in office. The therapeutic diabetic shoes, or any podiatry care as well. If you're within the range of our radio stations, the doctor, she will come to you from the Soul Authority. But the Soul Authority has 2 locations, Pembroke Pines and Tamarack. Both locations of the Soul Authority are open for in-office visits, and they are scheduling things in a way to maintain social distancing guidelines, so have no fear of that. But the house calls, which are covered by Medicare, isn't that absolutely amazing? Doctor coming to your house, covered by Medicare. But if you want to have an in-office appointment, either at the Tamarack Soul Authority location or in Pembroke Pines, that's fine too. Give them a call for either the in-office visits or the house calls, which are covered by Medicare. The number 954-597-7060. 954-597-7060. And with all Steve Kane Show sponsors listed at stevekaneshow.com. President Trump is just a brilliant man. Man, does anyone doubt that? He's brilliant. He is so. People say he's 5 steps ahead, 3 steps ahead. He's about 15 steps ahead of everyone else. And about a week or 2 ago, there was a major dust-up in the press briefing room when he says the president has power over the governors in the states. And the press had a fit. Right? The president, they were taking the position of the Confederate States of America that the federal government is weak and the power is with the states. They became a states' rights group of people, the press corps. And the mainstream media spent the better part of the rest of that week, through the weekend into the next week, telling us that the president is wrong, that the president cannot overrule the states when it comes to shutdown orders. Do you remember all of this? And then I'd kind of forgotten about the issue until the White House coronavirus press conference yesterday with our great president, Donald Trump. A reporter asked him about Georgia opening up. Georgia's opening up, is it Friday or Saturday? You'll even be able to go and get a haircut in Georgia. And I'm needing a haircut. I've missed at least 2, maybe 3 haircuts. And, hormone replacement pellet therapy, it makes your hair grow. That's right. As you grow older and your hormones are reduced, hair growth slows. In fact, if you're suffering from hair loss, both men or women, hormone replacement pellet therapy stops the hair loss. And the hair you have left grows back thicker and fuller. And if you can tell on the sides of my head, if you're on YouTube, it's getting kind of thick there, isn't it? Hormone replacement pellets. Makes your hair grow like it does when you're a youngin'. But anyway, it's true. You hear me talk about it with Dr. Matez all the time. So, you know. And so Georgia's opening up. You'll be able to get a haircut in Georgia. You know, and airfares are so low, I might be able to fly up to Atlanta from Fort Lauderdale for about $50, get a haircut, come back, do it up and back for a haircut. That'd be kind of cool. I'd like to do that and make a YouTube video about it. Probably go viral. I'll probably get 20 million views on that. But anyway, the governor of Georgia is opening up for business, and a reporter asked the president about this yesterday. I'm not going to play the clip. I'm just going to tell you. A reporter asks President Trump his thoughts on the governor of Georgia opening up the state. And Trump says, well, I don't support it. I'm against it. But, you know, he's the governor. He knows what he's doing. So now, you know, what the media wanted, what the press corps wanted, what they want right now, but they screwed themselves a couple weeks ago. They want President Trump to intervene and tell the governor of Georgia that he can't open up. But they spent about a week ago, telling us that the governors cannot be overruled in regards to shutdowns by the president. So they're screwed now. Trump knew this would happen. He knew exactly what he was doing when he said that a couple weeks ago, and now we're seeing it. He set up the media. Yeah, I don't agree with Georgia opening up. I wish I could do something about it, but he's the governor. Remember when you jerks at CNN and MSNBC spent a week or two in Fox telling us that? I don't have the authority to overrule him. Georgia's going to be open. I don't like it, but it's going to open. He's the governor. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. Is that hilarious? Trump always knows what he's doing. He's always 50 steps ahead. He always wins. Even when you think he's down, oh, he's lost. Oh, Trump, oh. Trump is so incredibly patient, isn't he? He is patient. Oh, man almighty, it was brilliant. And I know. And I could tell when that question came up, even though this angle that I'm sharing with you didn't come up. I think I'm the first person to bring this little aspect of all this up. But I sensed in Donald Trump a lot of satisfaction when he said that. Yeah, I don't support it, but, you know, he's the governor. What can I do? Did you guys see wasn't there like smile in his voice when he said that, Trump, yesterday? I thought there was. It was pretty funny. It was like, oh, wow, this is amazing. And I read yesterday, which is very good, in our local papers here in Florida, that Governor DeSantis is working with the governors of our surrounding states, which includes Georgia, that they have this southern coalition of states that are working together on reopening things in their states. So tomorrow is Friday. The Florida governor, Ron DeSantis, will get his recommendations from his reopening task force tomorrow. So over the weekend, we're going to, hopefully tomorrow, but, you know, Governor, hopefully by the weekend, we're going to hear the plan to reopen things in Florida that are not reopened yet. But, man, that was brilliant. That was so good. When Governor DeSantis comes in, the first thing I'm going to do is go get a haircut. And then I'm going to go to the beach. I'm going to do both. What about you guys? When they reopen everything, what's the first thing you're going to do? Haircut, beach, and go sit down in a restaurant and have a meal. Preferably Wings Plus, right? Trump knows how to play these people like nobody's business. And everything the Democrats are doing, everything they say, could not be more wrong during every aspect of this crisis. Now, after the bottom of the hour break, we'll get into AOC, the commie bartender. AOC. Oh, man. AOC. What the hell is she talking about, right? She's talking about it. The workers going on strike. It's easy to encourage people to go on strike when you get your six-figure income direct deposited into your bank account, sitting in your apartment in the Bronx. Let's take our break for the bottom of the hour. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
0.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
We have on the line attorney Barry Siegel, our estate planning attorney, and he's going to tell you what you can do to take care of your family in this very difficult period. Barry, what have you seen happening with estate planning since the outbreak of the coronavirus?
Since the outbreak of the corona-19 virus, people have taken estate planning much more seriously. One of the things that we talk about often is how people procrastinate when it comes to setting up their estate planning, because estate planning, most of the time for people, is something they should do. But what the coronavirus has done with the outbreak and concern is made people put this at the top of their list. So instead of it being a should, it's become a must. And therefore, we have received a ton of calls from people who have been telling us that they've been meaning to do this for a long time, but now they've realized how important it is to make sure, even if they're doing everything right and they stay home and do their social distancing, they still just want to make sure that they have that peace of mind that they've set up their estate plan to take care of the people that they love. Many people prefer face-to-face meetings. I typically am one of those people. With what's going on, we are still able to help people either by doing telephone consultations or even video consultations. We can send a link over to you, and all you have to do is touch the button, and all of a sudden we're face-to-face. We can see each other, and we can have a consultation just as if you were sitting in our conference room. And the whole point of it is you don't have to worry about your safety. You don't have to come in wearing gloves and a mask. All you have to do is we ask you that you fill out a questionnaire if you're married, that both you and your spouse attend, and we're able to do the same things and ask the same questions and have the same conversations that we do when you're sitting right there in our conference room, either over the phone or by video conference. It's been working out very, very well.
People are very concerned in this time about their health care. What planning is important for people to have as it relates to their health care?
Brian, healthcare planning is so very important. There are 3 key healthcare documents that everybody should have in their estate plan. The first one is the healthcare surrogate designation. The healthcare surrogate designation is a document that allows you to choose the surrogate or an agent to step into your shoes and make your healthcare decisions for you if you are unable to do so. We always recommend that you name at least 2, or you can name 2 people together, but the people you name can step in and make decisions for you health-wise, even life-ending decisions. The second healthcare document that is very important is the living will. The living will is the document that's typically called the pull-the-plug document. If you are mentally incapacitated, so you can't make your own healthcare decisions, and you have a terminal condition, an end-stage condition, or you're in a persistent vegetative state, the living will tell your healthcare surrogate whether or not you want to be kept alive on a machine if the machine is the only thing keeping you alive while you're in those conditions. So it's very important to have that so that your healthcare decision maker will be able to know what it is that you would have wanted. The third healthcare document that is so important is called a HIPAA authorization and release. You've been to a doctor in the last, let's say 17 years since the HIPAA law came out, and you've signed off that you read their HIPAA policy, and their HIPAA policy basically says that they won't share your private medical information with anybody other than other doctors, other specialists, other medical providers. The HIPAA authorization and release that you put up with your estate planning says, I want my medical information kept private, but you can share it with my spouse, my child, my brother, my sister, my friend, whoever it is that you would want them to be allowed to access your medical information, either by talking to the doctors and nurses and other medical staff, or even getting your medical records. So all 3 of those healthcare documents are so important for everyone to have, just in everyday life, let alone during these times.
Now, Barry, the Siegel Law Group, you are donating healthcare documents to people in high-risk professions. That's healthcare workers, first responders, and even those who work in animal clinics and shelters.
Yeah, I can't say enough for the people out there who are risking their lives. This is interfering with their families, and they are just real heroes out there who are taking care of all of these ill people. So we wanted to make sure that they have the proper documentation that they needed for their own planning for themselves and their families so that they would be protected.
My wife wants me to grow my hair long.
Healthcare workers, first responders, and those who deal with animals and animal clinics and animal shelters, we are offering them a free health healthcare surrogate designation, and a free living will. So all they have to do is call our office, and
I hate it. It takes too long to shower. I got to wash my hair on too much. When it's short, it just takes me a second. Put a little drop of shampoo on my finger, wash my hair. But now I got to like lather. And takes a, I don't know, a little time to rinse.
Or by video conference, that the consultation will be free. So please give us a call and we will set that up for you.
Call Barry Siegel's office right now and take advantage of that free consultation. His number is toll-free, 1-855-FLA-3782. 1-855-FLA-3782. Online, SiegelLawGroup.com.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, guys, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. This is The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. So let me get to this thing with AOC, because I got another story that I want to get to quickly. But let's first do AOC. AOC, she's in this with you. We're in this together. She's got her six-figure income direct deposited into her bank, as every member of Congress does, sheltered in place in the Bronx, making videos, posting them on Instagram. And she's trying to organize a workers' strike. Hard to organize a workers' strike when you've got your city and state shut down, AOC.
There's a lot that we could be doing right now, but ultimately, I think when we talk about this idea of reopening society, only in America does the president, when the president speaks about liberation, does he mean go back to work? When we, have this discussion about going back or reopening, I think a lot of people should just say, no, we're not going back to that. We're not going back to working 70-hour weeks just so that we could put food on the table and not even feel any sort of semblance of security in our lives.
What's this we business? Does a member of the House make about $175 a year now? What's this we can't put food on our table? What is she talking? What's this we? A member of Congress, when you send someone to Congress, you send them to Congress for a lot of reasons. One of them is not to keep you out of work, right? The kind of counter, she's talking about a workers' strike, refusing to go back to work. See, here's the thing. The power of a workforce striking, they only have power if they can stop a business from operating through their strike. And in New York, while people are protesting the governor of New York yesterday to go back to work, a protest that wasn't covered anywhere in the news yesterday and still today, except here on the Steve Kane Show, they don't have any juice to organize a strike. So, it's just an insane idea. Now, I saw this story. I have nothing, please don't misunderstand me when I go through these stories. I have nothing against healthcare workers. I have a lot of respect for healthcare workers. I've got healthcare workers in my family. My grandmother and great-grandmother were both nurses in the hospitals, registered nurses. So, I got, my mother-in-law's a nurse. I've got respect for people in the healthcare profession. A lot of respect, right? But just because somebody is something doesn't mean that their opinions and rights supersede yours. And I guess it was Monday, there was a weekend back to work protest. Oops, sorry, knocked my headphones out of my ear. There was, in Colorado, there was one of these get back to work in the lockdown protest, and there were these fake healthcare workers in brand new scrubs with creases in the sleeves, standing with their arms crossed. The healthcare workers of America, we are the most important essential workers, trying to stop the protest. And most people think they were fake because they were not identified. They were not identified. Now there have been two protests in the last couple of days where real healthcare workers have shown up. And here's a new one. I want to go through this. This article is in the Daily Mail, and I've forgotten where this one is at. It'll tell us as I go through the story. But listen to this. Healthcare workers took to the streets Wednesday to counter-demonstrate against anti-lockdown protesters across the U.S. Yeah. People that want to be let out of house arrest so they can go to work. reminding the social distancing rebels of the fatal implications their actions could pose to the lives of frontline workers. Now, these healthcare workers, if they're dealing with COVID-19 coronavirus patients, they're in the most dangerous area of all, right? They keep telling you this, exposure. If they can go to work in a hazardous situation, why can't everybody else go back to work? I go to Walmart, I go to Publix, a lot of people there. Why, if Walmart can be open, if Publix can be open, by the way, all Steve Kane Show sponsors are open for business. Why can't everything be open if people take some precautions? But anyway, back to the article. Protesters in Virginia, California, New York, Colorado, Arizona, and Vermont defied lockdown orders and protested in the streets, demanding governors lift lockdown orders as the economy struggles and millions are left unemployed. In Richmond, demonstrators gathered in cars for a drive-in protest, while some Mavericks gathered on foot outside Capitol Square in Richmond, protesting Governor Ralph Northam. Ralph Northam, he's the one that was either in the Klan's uniform or blackface, we don't know which, stay-at-home orders, which are slated to last through June 10th. So they've got 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks or so. But among the relentless din of cries to reopen the economy stood silently on the side of the procession Dr. Eric Brunn and his wife Kristen, a former nurse. Dressed in white lab coats and wearing face masks, the couple held placards in front of them, telling the crowd, "You have no right to put us at risk. Go home!" Now, the wife is retired. Is the doctor retired? It doesn't say, or is he currently practicing? By the way, they can't go out to work. If it's dangerous for them to go out to work, why can you go out to protest? Right? The ones that are out there, the counter-protest of the healthcare workers, if it's okay for them to go out to protest, why is it not okay to go out to work? Kristen, this is the retired nurse of the doctor, held a sign that said, "Sign up here to die for the economy." Wow. The truth is far more people disagree with opening the country, but they're not coming out to protest because they're at home doing the right thing, Dr. Brunn told NBC 29. The veteran surgeon went on to say, more people will die if the governor, the one that was in the Klan's uniform or blackface, Northam, concedes to the mob's demands of premature reopening. And inevitably, among the dead would be more doctors and more nurses. When pressed by ABC Channel 13 in Richmond whether more rural areas should be reopened, where the coronavirus infections and death curve has been decreasing significantly, Dr. Brunn said some of those areas, yes, if they have the proper testing and surveillance. But I don't think there is a one-size-fits surveillance. But in places where the virus is getting worse, hotspots definitely not. What kind of surveillance is he talking about? The Brunns were accosted and heckled by a number of protesters as they made their way past the couple in Richmond's Capitol Square. However, they weren't alone. In Arizona, nurse Lauren Linder stood alongside a number of her colleagues dressed in face masks and in scrubs, with their arms crossed as lockdown protesters taunted and waved flags in their faces. This was for all my healthcare workers. I see you. This was for all my patients. I am here as you. This was for the entire country. Help us help you, Nurse Linder wrote in a social media post with a photograph of her out and about. Now, and I'm watching, you got these 3 healthcare workers with their arms crossed and their scrubs with their masks on. Now, here's a question. Why can you work in a hazardous area, but these people cannot? Yeah. Why can you work, but the others cannot in non-hazardous situations? Let's see here. Zaid Seed, S-E-E-D, a friend and colleague of the nurse, said this. Today, she stood up for healthcare workers as protesters descended upon the state capitol in Arizona. She stood in silence as people called her a fake nurse and paid actor, among other horrendous things. Ironically, she has spent many days in the COVID ICU caring for the sickest patients. She stood for those who are on life support and have no voice of their own. She stood for the 42,604 Americans who have died so far. Wait a minute. She's been working in COVID ICU. She's been exposed to patients, and she's out there in this crowd in a counter protest. Isn't she violating what she is saying people shouldn't do? Isn't she doing exactly what she says you shouldn't do? By going to the protest, shouldn't she Skype in? And she's exposed and been exposed. Similar anti-lockdown demonstrations were held across America on Wednesday in California, New York, and Vermont, where thousands defied stay-at-home orders to demand governors reopen their states' economies. As of Wednesday, the U.S. had more than 850 confirmed cases of coronavirus. In Los Angeles, a demonstration dubbed Operation Gridlock LA unfolded, where honking cars waving American flags gathered outside City Hall. I imagine in California, it's probably easier to get a roll of toilet paper than an American flag, because anytime I see a protest out in California, I see Mexican flags. In Vermont, demonstrators braved the snow outside the State House to rally for an end of that state's lockdown. A group of nurses counter-protested against their demands, wearing their scrubs and face masks. Again, it's dangerous to go out, but all these... And why is it always nurses, except for this one doctor? In Albany, finally, something on what happened with Cuomo yesterday. In Albany, New York, protesters gathered in front of the state capitol building Wednesday in protest, organized by the group Reopen New York State. One holding a sign that read, "Dictator Cuomo, give our lives back." Hold on, Dr. Matez, hold on. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. People were seen holding signs that said, "Tell old Cuomo, let my people go, and my small business is essential." All right, we'll finish up with this after the break. But first, let's talk to Dr. Mitch Matez. Dr. Matez, good morning.
Morning, Brian. How are you?
I'm great. I was just talking earlier about how, barbershops, beauty salons are closed and how I've missed some haircuts and how hormone replacement pellet therapy stops hair loss in its tracks of both men and women and causes your hair to grow back thicker and fuller like it does when you're young.
I heard you, and I agree 100%. I appreciate that little plug there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Listen,
very poofy.
I want to bring something up for you here. You just recently mentioned surveillance in that guy's little talk.
Yeah.
What he's talking about, and Fauci and Merck have been talking about this every day, and it's not getting a whole lot of play. They're talking about tracing is the real word here. And what they're talking about doing is gathering information on every one of us.
Yeah.
We walk through a turnstile, a machine takes our temperature, measures our thermal body temperature, puts us into a database. Apple and Google are working on this with them. This is a big deal. They're trying to set up a system whereby we are being traced and followed.
Yeah.
Usually, probably through our phones. This is Big Brother.
And then they're going to coordinate everyone you've come in, and then keep track of everyone you've kept in contact with.
That is correct.
Yeah.
And as you know quite clearly, because I've been listening to you for a long time, that information is not going to be random and anonymous and isolated. That information is going to be put into a database. There's no question about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it is
Big
a
Brother.
very, very scary thought. And I don't believe, although it probably would be a benefit in terms of squishing this virus, I think it's way over the top and not necessary. And it's something to keep an eye on here. It's not it wasn't just a passing comment from that guy. It's a pretty big theme in the powers that be right now, is that we need to trace everybody and we need to surveil and follow this, and it's scary.
It is scary. I feel like there's been kind of like a revolution among people in the healthcare industry. They're propping, well, you're a doctor, so according to them, your word is law, and whatever you say is not to be questioned, Dr. Matez, right? If a doctor says it.
Yeah, well, I listen, it's good to be the king.
Yeah.
I would suggest to you that the overwhelming majority of my peers don't necessarily see it the way I do, and probably think that tracing and surveillance is a very, very good thing, and we absolutely should be doing it. And,
oh, yeah.
But, they're subjected to the same nonsense that the rest of us are.
It's really frightening because you're right. It would be in some database somewhere, and it would only be a matter of time before it was hacked and commercialized. It's frightening what they're talking about doing. And when they say and when they talk about monitoring everybody you've come in contact with, that's not just people you know. If you're in a public place, like if you're at a mall and your temperature gets to a certain level, they're going to notify everybody that you walked by in the mall. I mean, it's insanity.
They're going to know when you come visit me. They're going to know if you go to an infectious disease test. Everything that you do will be obvious and visible to somebody who can interpret the
I thought the left said medical decisions were between patients and doctors, and it was sacred, and it was not to be out there. But now I guess they want everything public.
Well, I would suggest to you that the surveillance techniques that they're developing are clearly not congruent with HIPAA law. HIPAA, the Health Information Portability Act, which says that your medical information is supposed to be private.
Yeah.
That's what it says. However, the medical information world did not necessarily keep up with the technology world, and I can suggest to you that good hackers can.
Well, here in Florida, they were talking at Walt Disney World about taking people's temperatures before they're allowed to walk through the gate, and people are saying, well, wait a minute. So my medical information, my temperature is going to be there for just random people to see. And I know people may say, well, that's minor. Listen, when it comes to your health, you want everything to be, at least I do. I want everything to be private and confidential. That's no one's business except the things that we choose to share in our commercials.
It's even a little step further, make it just a tad worse, is that they're going to take your temperature. You're not even going to know they're taking your temperature. Nobody's coming up and putting a thermometer in your mouth. This is a machine that you don't see that's going to scan you and tell your body temperature and other things.
And identify you because the data of the temperature doesn't matter unless they know who you are and how to reach you.
Well, it's going to, at the very least, it's going to identify your technology, your cell phone, your pad, your whatever. Will it give you an actual physical identification? I think it's possible because I think they'll come up with a way over time probably to measure the DNA.
Yeah, absolutely. The technology is advancing like this.
If that ever does occur, if the technology ever gets to that point, life as we know it isn't absolutely changed.
Well, I know a lot of people out there, life as you know it isn't all that pleasurable. I mean, you are, your hormones are low. And, you're getting more tired than you used to. You may be suffering, like Joe Biden, from some cognition issues. You may be suffering from menopause. You hear us talking. Dr. Matez has the solution for you. It's called hormone replacement pellet therapy, and he's open for business, of course, during this time, and he is open for both existing and new patients, and a free consultation if you mention the Steve Kane Show when you call. Dr. Matez's number, 561-953-5490, 561-953-5490. All right, Dr. Matez, take care, and we'll talk another time.
All right, Brian, have a good one.
All right, take care. Dr. Mitch Matez. All right, we're back. In the next hour, I'm going to replay what I played in the first hour, which is Governor Cuomo. And I don't usually play sound bites twice too much, especially one that's as long as this. But if you heard the first hour of the show, which shame on you if you did not. Really, I'm not kidding. Governor Cuomo gave advice to people in New York when he was asked a real question for the first time in his entire political career by a reporter in his press conference. That is sick. The entire response that he gave to this reporter was sadistic, scary. I mean, more and more adjectives can be used, but I'm going to go through that again in the 8 o'clock hour. I think people need to hear it. Richie the bus driver, you're on the air.
Yeah, good morning. I overslept, believe it or not, so I hope when I'm going to give you this news, I'm going to give you, nobody else has told you yet.
Yeah, doesn't Florida wake up at 6 a.m.? Come on.
Richie doesn't. No, listen, the lobbyist activity in Washington, D.C. is at record numbers.
Yeah.
And Amazon has had record sales.
Of course.
And if you don't think these politicians that are saying don't open it up are financially benefiting by this, you got to be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
This is one big giant setup and a screw job on most Americans.
Well, how can the lobbyists be up there lobbying because the social distancing? They're not locked out. They're essential workers lobbyists.
No, they're not locked up, and they're not locked out. And then, like I said, the records show that they're at the highest peak ever. And
Highest peak of lobbying.
Yeah, so companies like Amazon and other companies that are benefiting, like the ones that are making buku money on this situation, are up behind. So
when I'm home, the most common vehicle to drive down my street is an Amazon delivery truck. More than even residents in the neighborhood. Those Amazon trucks are driving around like crazy. Sometimes there's 2 at a time on my street. One will go by each direction. I know, they're making big bucks.
They don't want it to stop, and they got lobbyists.
A lot of people
they're
don't.
Just the only company. No, they're not the only company, and that's what I'm saying. And the lobbyists, it's a known fact that lobbyists in Washington run the country. We don't.
That's true.
But we don't run the country.
Well, they do, the secret government. All right, appreciate it, Richie. Now, I didn't bring that up because it's boring, but it's nice. It's nice. I love Richie. But no, in the next hour, I'm going to go through there was this one particular question asked of Governor Cuomo yesterday, and he had some advice. I don't know where the Me Too movement is. He had advice for battered women that is so disturbing. You'll hear it in the next hour. Steve missed the first hour too. That's okay. It's okay, you know. But yeah, you missed this part. This is crazy what Governor Cuomo did, and this should be the lead story, not what AOC said. AOC said, "Go on strike." Breaking news. No, that's not the big story. The big story is Governor Cuomo. But let me check in first with Attorney Barry Siegel. Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Brian?
I'm doing well. What's going on in the world of estate planning and elder law these days in this era we're in?
Well, it's we've been talking for the last few weeks about how now is a time if estate planning done a bit on your to-do list, if it's something that you haven't updated in a long time, really is nothing that should be stopping you at this point. We have free consultations available by phone and by video consult as well. Yeah. And one thing to keep in mind, and don't forget this, the estate planning documents are that are done in our office, because we also do elder law. We put language in your estate planning documents that can be the difference between down the road being able to qualify and get the government money to pay for your care, either at home or in assisted living or in a nursing home. So down the road, that can destroy you financially if that has to come out of your own pocket.
Absolutely.
So again, for no other reason, if you want to make sure that you protect money during your lifetime, you need to come in and take advantage of that free consultation.
Now, Attorney Barry Siegel, now during this period we're in, I'm talking about the COVID-19 coronavirus period, when people call you up and they want to take care of something, what are a couple of the most common things that people seem to be concerned about right now so far as estate planning when they call you up?
Well, I mean, one of them is, what if I or my spouse get this horrible illness, and what about healthcare decisions? How are we going to deal with that? What do I need to have? What if, God forbid, one of us passes on? I need to make sure I have all of my documents and planning in order. So those are the things that I'm hearing from people, that they just want to
have that peace of mind that they have this taken care of. I mean, of course, everybody needs to take care of handling things responsibly, wearing your masks and gloves and following all of the guidelines that we're given for safety. But on the other hand, sometimes we just don't know this disease seems to spread very quickly, this virus. So we just want to have that peace of mind that we have things taken care of.
Yeah.
Because, I've even had people I've known personally pass, and even recently I had a client who had a stepchild who was only in his early 50s pass. So,
oh my goodness.
So this is out there, and we just need to be prepared. That's all I'm saying.
It is. Now listen, Attorney Barry Siegel, it's a free consultation for listeners of the Steve Kane Show. If you already have documents, a trust or something, Barry will review your documents at no charge. And in this social distancing era, he can talk to you by phone. He can even do a video conference if you would prefer. Give Attorney Barry Siegel a call. His number is toll-free, 1-855-FLA-3782, 1-855-FLA-3782. All right, Barry Siegel, we will talk tomorrow.
All right, Brian, have a great day. Thank you.
You too. Take care. Take care. All right, listen, we're going to take our break for the top. Steve will be joining us, and I went over this in the first hour. I want to go through it again because some news was broken out of it that has not been covered or discussed, and there was one particular question asked of Governor Cuomo by a female reporter. I don't know who she is. If anyone knows who she is, let me know. She's good. I don't care if she works for the New York Times. She's a very good reporter. She asked great questions and great follow-ups. And I'll just give you what happened that led up to this, something that there's been a complete media blackout on. And there was a major protest in front of the State House where Governor Cuomo has his press conferences every day. While the press conference was going on, there was a major protest of the End the Lockdown crowd in New York and Albany. In the lockdown, the people that want to go back to work. They were honking horns, everything else. You cannot hear it during the press conference because I guess they're up high in the State House building. But the reporter had interviewed some of these people and shared their concerns with the governor. And what the governor's answers were to people are answers that I would expect to hear from Ted Bundy or BTK. And I'm not exaggerating. And those of you that heard it in the first hour, I think, would agree. So we'll take our break for the top and we'll go through this. And I got to tell you, if school was in, I would say, you know what, maybe if you got kids in the car, you want to turn down the radio, because what Governor Andrew Cuomo's responses are is so disturbing. I wouldn't want kids to hear it, that a governor of a major state can say that they've got to put up with what they might be putting up with. So we'll take our break for the top of the hour. But since there are no kids on the way to school, you don't have to turn the radio down during that segment. All right, you're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. On the radio since 1977, I'm Brian Craig. Steve will be with us after the break. Don't go anywhere.
9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including
amputation. For the first time, I'm starting to feel like it's never going to be normal again.
Has provided coverage.
I mean, where
Steve Kane Show.
It has to go away.
Steve Kane Show. Hey, Bob, call back in a few minutes. We're not going to take calls quite yet, okay? Call back in a few minutes. Bye. Just, I want to do this and not take the call from you.
Who is the caller?
Nobody.
I said Bob, I thought it was our friend.
You are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name-brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Sole Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesoulauthority.com. That's TheSole.
Make sure you subscribe, guys. Subscribe.
Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Attention seniors over the age of 65. In this unsettling time due to COVID-19, if you have recently lost your job or been forced into retirement and want to learn about all of your Medicare health insurance options, call Debbie and her team at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080 for a free review of your existing health insurance plan and to receive a free no-obligation education on all of your Medicare options. I Will Advisors are carrier neutral, which means they don't just represent one insurance carrier, they represent all major national carriers and will guide you through the confusing process to find the right plan for your particular needs. Free of charge. Call Debbie and her team right now. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. Business owners, is your business open and you want to let your customers know? Have you changed the services you offer and want to get the word out? Let people know you are open for business. This is Brian Craig. Call me at 1-888-465-2631. And let's talk about how the Steve Kane Show can get the word out that you are open for business. Don't let the coronavirus crisis put you out of business. Give me a call. 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631.
I'll have to do the call-in then. I'll have to do the call-ins.
Just tell them that.
I'll do the call-ins today.
To South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free.
Oh boy. All right, we're back.
Yes, we are.
Oh boy.
I have my phone at home, which means
That you have no phone.
that I have no phone.
Okay, so I want to. I played this in the first hour, and I don't want you to think I don't just hype things up. You know, this is the most disturbing response to a question I have ever heard a high-ranking government. He's the governor of New York. Being the governor of New York is a bigger deal than being the president or prime minister of some countries. All right, he's more. Yeah, it's a big state. Huge population, very influential. The financial capital of the world is in that state. So they're an influential person who has a lot of influence over the American and global economy and other things just because of the governor of New York, and they have authority over the city of New York. He holds court every day in Albany and has these press conferences, and with all of his arrogance. And a female reporter who I don't know who she is. If anyone knows who she is, please let me know. Asked him it's not a tough question, it's a real question, as opposed to, what's your favorite color, Governor Cuomo? How do you feel? You know, do you feel that the work you're doing is properly appreciated by the people here in the press that are basically, this is the first time he's been asked a real question. And it's because it was a real question, it's the first time we've gotten to see what his personality is really like. And he's a sick man. All right, here it is. Lady reporter, Governor Cuomo. This is yesterday.
I don't know if you can hear, but there are protesters outside right now honking their horns and raising signs. We did speak to a few of them before we came in, and these are regular people who are not getting a paycheck. Some of them are not getting their unemployment check. And they're saying that they don't have time to wait for all of this testing and they need to get back to work in order to feed their families.
Okay, now this is a great question to Governor Cuomo. You would think he'd be pissed, but he's so sick and twisted, he thinks he looks good when you hear his responses. That's how out of touch with reality he is. Now we understand why his brother is the way he is. This was the male influence in his life, because remember, Governor Cuomo told us a few weeks ago, Dad wasn't around growing up. It was just me and Christopher. Remember that? So there was brother under the bus, there was dad under the bus, So anytime you see Chris Cuomo acting dysfunctional, this was the father figure in his life. So this reporter said something that I did not know, that there was a major protest outside the State House during this press conference to end the lockdown in New York. Complete media blackout on this. Where's Fox? Did you see this on Fox? I saw it nowhere. Not even online. Okay, not even online. So she says, Governor, they're out there, they're honking their horns. They don't have time to wait. They're out of money. They don't have money to buy food for their kids. What do you say to them, Governor?
savings is running out, they don't have another week, they're not getting answers. So their point is the cure can't be worse than the illness itself.
Yeah.
What is your response to them?
The illness is death. What is worse than death?
Well, what if somebody commits suicide because they can't pay their
Yeah,
bills?
but the illness is maybe death.
Okay, so yeah, this is all about me. Don't you know? My dad was Mario Cuomo. You know, it's about me. So he's concerned that someone who's sending their kids to bed at night hungry, he's concerned that this kid, he's in Albany, no matter where they are in this humongous state of New York, might endanger him. And everything's about him. He's not done. It gets worse.
Supposed to be your death. You said, they said, the cure is worse than the illness. The illness is death. How can the cure be worse than the illness if the illness is potential death?
What if the economy failing
Worse than death?
is equals death
Very
for,
good.
because
No,
of
but
mental
it
illness,
doesn't.
the
No, it
people,
doesn't.
the people stuck at home.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, now, Chris Cuomo, he was born to this jerk of a father who was very successful and famous, Governor Mario Cuomo, okay? And he's never wanted for anything in his life. He never had to worry about a meal. He never had to worry about a bill. The only thing he's had to worry about is how to increase his wealth and fame and power. He's never had to worry about sending his kids to school hungry or going to bed hungry or not with the newest shoes. The biggest sacrifice his family has made, we saw this 2 weeks ago. He brought his daughter into the press conference and she was sacrificing. She wasn't going on her spring break vacation. And she's sacrificing, man. She's not going to Cabo. She's not going to the southern France, wherever she was going. Okay, she's going to be in Albany with me. That's the sacrifice, right?
It doesn't equal death. Economic hardship. Yes, very bad. Not death. Emotional stress from being locked in a house. Very bad. Not death. Domestic violence on the increase. Very bad. Not death.
Okay. So if you're a woman in New York who's under a lockdown order from this rich trust fund baby who's never worried about anything in his life, okay, and your husband's beating the crap out of you every day, and you're stuck with him because of the lockdown order, right? And it might be getting worse. It's not as bad as death. And you're risking others' lives if you leave. Is that what he's saying? If you're a victim of domestic violence, stay there?
Somebody should point out to him that every time you walk out of the house, you're risking death.
Well, he says domestic violence is on the increase, but it's not worse than death. So what I take from that is if you're a domestic violence victim, stay at home under lockdown. It's not as bad as death. And being beaten to a pulp by your spouse, well, hey, yeah, it's bad. But it's better than being dead. Listen, it's what he says.
Emotional stress from being locked in a house. Very bad. Not death. Domestic violence on the increase. Very bad. Not death.
Wow. That's what he's saying.
Not death of someone else. See, that's what we have.
See, if your husband's if your husband's beating you up, it's bad. But it's not as bad as someone else's death. So don't leave the abuser.
Especially if the death is that of me.
Yeah, and keep in mind that his little brother went out, broke these guidelines, got corona, gave it to his wife, and then it was reported that Governor Cuomo's nephew, Chris Cuomo's son, who's a teenager, now has corona. His dad infected 2 members of his family, and he's telling the rest of us, don't leave your house, don't go to work. You know, you can't, if you don't have food, okay, but it's you know, that's a slow death as opposed to a fast death.
Well, the whole
It gets worse.
Is will it be death? I mean, that's
If
the
it's,
issue.
he doesn't care.
If it's his life, if it's his life that's involved, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, it's your life. Do whatever you want. But
not with my life.
You're not responsible for my life.
Oh, how did I get
You have a
there?
responsibility to me.
Wow.
You have a responsibility to me, right? We started here saying it's not about me, it's about we. Get your head around the we concept. So it's not all about you. It's about me too. It's about we. Also, I get the economic hardship. Everybody gets it. Everybody feels it. Federal government is sending out a check for individuals.
He doesn't even have any clue of how he sounds. But the reporter comes back in.
We are moving.
He thinks he looks good here.
Employment payments going. So we get the economic anxiety. The question is, how do you respond to it? And do you respond to it in a way that
Yes, I am.
jeopardizes public health and possibly causes more people to die? And think about it as if it was your family that might get infected, right? And that's what we're talking about. And
Yeah, like his family. Like Chris Cuomo's infected 2 members of his family.
your family, you have a different perspective. I'll tell you the truth. It's not an abstract argument where they say, he says, she says, he says, she says. I know that's how it works. Well, the protesters say this, governor says this, protesters say this, governor says this.
See, he doesn't have any concept that these protesters don't have money to buy food anymore. They've been out of work a month or more in some cases. They don't have money to buy food. Takeout's open, but they don't have money to go to takeout. And he doesn't understand that because in his world, no one ever does without.
Think about it as your family might be in the mix. Because when I see 484 New Yorkers dying, I feel that it's like people in my family. And nothing comes before the public health risk of somebody else's life. And that's where we are.
But they're also saying, if you can't afford to pay me unemployment or your system
You
is
will
not
be
set
paid.
up,
You will be paid
but
unemployment
they can't
from
wait
the day.
for the money.
See, the kids have no food tonight. They can't wait for you to get your government in action.
They can't wait for the money. They're out of money.
Yeah, we're talking about a couple of days lag on the unemployment.
Anybody believe that?
Will get the check from the date of unemployment. Does not cost them an extra penny. Now, they can say unemployment insurance isn't enough. I get it. Even with the $600 check and the $1,200 check and the unemployment insurance benefit is not enough. I understand the economic hardship. We all feel it.
Really? Do you think Andrew Cuomo feels the economic hardship?
Sound that way,
Exactly.
The question is, what do you do about it? And do you put public health at risk? And do you drive up the number of deaths for it? Because you have no idea how to reopen now.
They're saying that, is there a fundamental right to work if the government can't get me the money when I need it? Is there
Yeah, you
a
want to
fundamental right
You want to go to
to
work? Go take a job as an essential worker.
Yeah, go become a nurse tomorrow, or a doctor tomorrow, or whatever, or a CNN anchor because they're considered essential service. What's scary about that is he doesn't even realize how he sounds. He thinks that's like his shining moment.
Yeah, well, he clearly has major ego problems.
He's sicko. He's sick. He has no empathy for anyone. He doesn't understand how his own people are suffering. Why can't you just stay home? You mean you don't have a bank account filled with money?
But on the other hand, to broaden this out from Cuomo a little bit, there's a good point, very interesting and good discussion. But I want to move on to a different point. Someday, a whole bunch of people are going to have to walk out the front door and hope that it doesn't kill them.
Yeah.
Okay?
In
Because
New
there are
York.
no guarantees with
Yeah.
this thing. So I don't understand what he's talking about, that it's just him at stake. Everybody is
You know what I think it is with Cuomo? I think he enjoys the power.
Of course.
You know, and I don't think he wants that. That's his food.
And he
Yeah.
enjoys showing how humble he is.
Yeah. He in a way. I mean, I don't think he may not be aware of this, but in a way, he doesn't want this to end ever, because he feels on top of the world. He's in power. Governors don't really do a lot typically, and he's doing a lot. And he's got his press conferences on TV every day. He's got there wasn't one bit of caring for anyone suffering. In that, none.
Well, that's our boy Andrew.
That's the Democrat nominee in 2024 they're talking about. All right, let's take a quick call, then we'll break. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Hey, it's Mike and Boca. How are you?
Hey, Mike and Boca, what's up?
Is Steve on his mask?
Yes.
Yeah, Steve's got a mask.
Oh, you wearing it? Did you wear it?
No, why wear? We're in sound booths.
No, I'm just joking because last couple of days he was complaining about it.
Oh yeah, he's always complaining. But what'd you call about today, Mike?
Well, I got positive news. Sarasota, the beaches are opening.
Oh, great. How many hours away is that if I want to go to the beach?
I know.
Let me ask you. Now, Sarasota is on the Gulf Coast. You know what I wonder about? Sarasota is a nice town, and a lot of very wealthy people live there, like Jerry Springer. A lot of wealthy people have mansions there. The Amish. But Sarasota, is that a Republican or a Democrat community?
I know. Well, I'm trying to remember the last time I was there. But I know.
Well, I don't know, but you know what I would imagine. The reason I wonder is.
I know around it. I know around it. It's Trump. I know around that area. It's all Trump country.
Yeah, I've been to Sarasota, and it does seem to be a conservative area. So this is, Democrats at the local levels, at the county levels and city levels, are acting like Cuomo. They don't want anyone to go back to work. They don't want any beaches to reopen. They're trying to keep the country shut down. So I'm guessing Sarasota is a Republican county. I don't know, but probably.
Yeah.
All right.
I also heard Pinellas County wants to start opening stuff.
Yeah. Well, there are 4 counties in Florida that really matter. Okay, 5. Miami, Broward, Palm Beach, Orange, and Osceola. The 3 are in South Florida. Osceola and Orange is where Walt Disney World is. Other than that, the rest is just retirement cow country. All right, Mike, take care. We'll and by the way, the most important counties in Florida are all run by Democrats. That's the problem. Broward, Palm Beach, Dade, Orange, and Osceola, where Disney World is, all Democrat run. All right, we'll take a break. We'll be back. Steve here. You listen to the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. We'll be right back.
Heard Steve Kane, Richie the bus driver, and many other Steve Kane listeners tell you about the great work Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental Care offers. Steve Kane listener Hank called in, he had an accident, he went to Dr. Gupta, and he told us his story.
Good morning, Brian. My name's Hank. I'm calling from Hollywood. Brian, I'm calling you for a different thing. About a month or so ago,
Huh? I don't understand what you're saying. I don't understand what you're saying. Oh, you got it? You found it?
No.
Oh.
Besides
He didn't. Okay. You called him at night?
Is really good, really
You
nice.
called him at
They're
night?
all really nice over there. The price was unbelievable. When I came home, I told my wife,
Oh, okay.
I thought that thing was going to cost you 3 times as much. I said, so did I. And I just want to thank you. I want to thank you, Dr. Gupta. He's awesome. Appreciate your show. I listen to your show a lot. I only called in, this is the second time. Both times, one was to make sure I'm going to the right office where Dr. Gupta was, and then this one to let you know that he's great. I know you know he's great. I just want your listeners to know he's great. His assistant is great. The prices are great.
What?
What time do you have?
8:20.
Experience with Dr.
Yeah, I did. Thank you again, Brian.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, and thank Steve, and you guys keep up the good work over there. I
Okay.
appreciate it. Dr. Gupta, you keep up the good work, too.
All right, there we go.
So everybody keep up.
All right, I think you guys just heard what will be the new commercial for Dr. Gupta. Do what Hank did. Call Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. For Steve Kane listeners, free consultations. And always the best price. Give Dr. Gupta a call right now. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633. 4633.
95.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
This is Brian Craig. I've been telling you about the great deals and incredible customer service at Friendly Tire on both new tires and used tires. One of our listeners, Antonio, went to Friendly Tire and called to share with us his experience of buying used tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Good morning, you're on the radio.
Hey, yes, Brian, I want to give you a quick testimony about the tire place up in Margate, Friendly Tire. Friendly Tire is everything you said it would be, man. I went up there and got me some used tires, and when I went up there, man, he was very courteous. My whole family's going for that one, man. everything you said it was going to be, man. I appreciate you for that, man. And Mike's a great guy, man.
Well, what's your name?
Antonio.
All right, Antonio. Hey, I'm glad we could save you and your family lots of money on tires at Friendly Tire.
Oh, no doubt, man. Thanks so much, man.
Do what Antonio did. Stop into Friendly Tire and find incredible deals on both new and used tires. Give Friendly Mike a call right now. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. And Mike will give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, we are back.
Oh. So
Let's
what's...
go to the-
No. We don't have anybody we want to take right now, unfortunately. I wish we did, but we don't. There's no one we want to
I
take.
had a new feeling this morning that I've never had before. I got out of bed and I was watching Fox, as I do.
Yeah.
And it was only because you weren't on the air yet when I
Yeah.
closed.
Yeah.
And I had this sick feeling in my stomach that who is to say that this viral thing is ever going to go away? I mean,
Of course, it's going away now.
Well, it's lessening. It's lessening, and honestly, I mean, we've all assumed it's going to reach one day that there'll be none left.
I can tell in Florida, I noticed last week when, I can't remember which day it was, but it was end of last week, Trump came out and released the plan to reopen America, and the next day, the roads in Florida, I noticed a big difference in traffic. And every day, busier and busier.
On the other side of this now.
No, he's not.
Well, he doesn't think it's ready to go out.
Yes, he does.
I think you're wrong. This morning I was listening on the radio, and Trump is against what the Alabama governor.
No, Georgia? No, he's
Georgia
no, he's not. No, he's not. This is I was talking about.
He's not.
No, he's. No. He said he didn't.
I heard it.
No. You heard what he said, but you didn't get what he really meant. And no one else did either, except me and Trump.
What did he say?
They were talking about the governor of Georgia is reopening things
And his
this
reaction
weekend.
to that was.
I don't support it. He said in the press conference yesterday, but that's not what he meant.
Doesn't boil down to him saying he wasn't in favor
No.
at this point.
No.
Explain that to people who are out there are awestruck.
I think most people in this audience are so intelligent that they know that he meant the opposite. This is.
No, he meant the opposite.
Oh, 2 weeks ago. This is why you can't watch the news. They brainwash people. 2 weeks ago, he said that the country would open up and he's got power over the states and he can tell the governors what to do. The entire media said, no, you don't. No, you don't. You can't tell them what to do.
That's correct.
Trump knew exactly what he was doing then. He knew that individual governor, because the media all said, and the Democrats.
He got them to take responsibility that he didn't
No, it's not that he didn't want responsibility. What he did was he knew the Republican governors were going to open up and the Democrats are going to stay shut. He knows this. And he knows that if he orders it, the media are going to get. So now governors are doing.
Well, you left out half a sentence.
Are going to go after Trump.
He knows that if he orders it, and this is what you left out, and there are cases that come through where people die, that he will be.
No, that's not. No, that's not what he's. He knew that if he ordered the states to open up, that there'd be a lot of non-compliance who would say, we don't recognize your authority to do so. Right. He knows that
Maybe a death?
No, of course people will, death has not ended in the world. People will die every day, probably have died during this broadcast, I'm sure, of many things. But he knew Republican governors would open up and Democrats wouldn't if he gave the order. So now Republican governors are starting to open up their state. Georgia's number one, first in line. And the media, the reporter asked Trump about this yesterday. The media really screwed themselves, and the Democrats really screwed themselves because Trump says, yeah, I don't agree with it, but he's the governor. I can't do anything about it. Just like you guys said for a week ago that I have no power over the governors. And he He knows that the Republican states are going to start opening like the dominoes fall in reverse. It's like lifting up the dominoes, and it's going to. He's getting what he wants in a different way. He is for Georgia opening up.
Whether he's getting what he wants predicated upon whether we're in the middle of this thing again, whether we get thrown back to where we were.
We're not going to get thrown back to anything.
We don't know that for a fact. Nobody knows.
We can't shut down forever the world.
That's true.
Until Dr. Fauci says it's okay. But Trump knew exactly what he was doing. When he said the president has the ultimate power, he knew what the backlash would be. He was 20 steps ahead of these jerks. So now Georgia's going to open up. Florida will give the orders soon after that because DeSantis is working with the Georgia governor. And Trump's going to be, yeah, I know. I don't agree with it, but you guys told me I didn't have the power. I don't have the power. I got to let the governors do what the governors do. He knew exactly what he was doing. He's played them all.
And then he did what I agree with you.
Reverse psychology.
Point, but I think his main objective was to cover his.
No, he's not. Trump's not into that.
Oh, yes, he is.
He does. There's nothing to cover.
There will be if this thing goes unpleasantly awry.
It's going to happen. People are still going to die of this. People will get sick in the future from it. What disease have they eradicated?
People are going to die. The question is who's going to take the blame.
Trump doesn't think that way. He doesn't. That's typical political talk.
How close are we to a break?
It's about time to break for Richard Pearl.
Let me put a little appeal out here because I would like to hear from a sane member of the Steve
You're watching too much mainstream media.
I don't have to watch the media to understand what Trump is doing and why he's doing it.
No. Trump. It's not that you're wrong. Trump wants to open up the country yesterday. He is doing it in a way where he doesn't necessarily get the credit, but he's getting what he wants.
But he won't get the blame if it goes wrong.
See, Georgia, people wonder.
He'll be able to say, I told you so.
See, Georgia is vitally important to open up. It's one of the most important states to open up, with all due respect to the arrogance of New Yorkers and Californians. And the reason that is because Georgia contains Atlanta. The Atlanta airport is the largest airline hub in America. So you got to have it. You've got to have Georgia open up to get the airlines back.
One of our listeners, and then I'll reconsider. All right.
Oh, my word's not good enough.
No, not in this one. Sometimes yes, but not today. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. We'll return after this.
95.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
Frank, the owner of Ace Hardware Deerfield and Beach Ace Hardware, wants you and your family to be protected during the coronavirus pandemic and has an incredible offer for listeners of the Steve Kane Show.
We get products continually coming in during the week. We get disinfectants, bleach, gloves, cleaning supplies. Everybody's looking for face masks. So the best thing that we came up with was a face covering. A lot of the cities are going to ask you to cover your face. So we've got a supply of bandanas. I'd love if every one of your customers that come in a free bandana just for mentioning the Steve Kane Show. The bandanas are face covering, and the cities are going to require, as we start to go back to work and get out, that everybody's required to have their face covered. So you can use this bandana to cover your mouth and your nose and to protect you and protect all those around you. The other thing is, while you're at home, why don't you get that honeydew list done? It's that cleaning project or sprinkler supply, or maybe treat yourself to a new grill.
Wow, what a great deal. These bandanas are reusable because you can wash them. So stop into Ace Hardware in Deerfield, just south of Hillsborough Boulevard on the west side of US 1, and Beach Ace Hardware, located at 232 Commercial Boulevard, Lauderdale by the Sea, and get your free bandana from Ace Hardware.
If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the sole authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to 1 pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the sole authority today, 954-597-7060.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Avoid probate with a revocable living trust.
I got to do it because you don't have your
$350
phone.
For single people, $450 for married couples.
Richard Pearl.
Complete your trust with attorney Barry Siegel. He will give you a $100 gift certificate to Tavolino Italian Restaurant in Coral Springs. Call the Siegel.
But I got to
Law
do
Group
it since
with
you don't
9
have your
offices
phone.
in South Florida, including downtown Fort Lauderdale, Coral Gables, and downtown Miami. 1-855 FLA 3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. You listen to the Steve Kane Show. And on the line, we have Richard Pearl from Simply Natural with the Morning Health Report. Hey, Richard Pearl.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, so how's the world of health going this morning? You sound healthy.
Actually, it's going great. And people are recovering. Obviously, the pandemic is lessening. And we're going to be going back to work soon. So this voluntary quarantine or martial law, I guess is the proper way of calling it, is lessening. It's an experience or experiment we shouldn't do again. By the way, I have a mask in the KN95s. I have a packs of 5.
Wow.
They're much less expensive than they were the last time. In fact, I'm selling them for what I paid for the other ones. And I bought some. They're very comfortable, by the way, compared to, I can't believe some of the masks people wear. I also have some of the face shields. But what I want to talk about is glutathione. This is very important. This is the master antioxidant of the body. And it is so important because it helps or protects the DNA from damage, and it fights free radicals, heavy metals, and other toxins. More importantly, it lowers inflammation and repairs cells. It's very important when it comes to stopping up the viruses. When you look at viruses, they deplete glutathione, and as we get older, our glutathione levels are depleted as well, as much as 10% each decade.
Wow.
So this is like the masters. You know, if you want to look at the keystone in an arch, it's the same thing. If your glutathione levels are low, you're in trouble. And there's a way to really improve the glutathione levels in your body. By the way, your skin improves when you have that. Your energy improves. There's so many benefits to it that are not what you would normally think of. But the best way to improve it is by taking a supplement called S-acetylglutathione. When they do the testing compared to the IV, which is the gold standard, S-acetylglutathione is better. They use T-bars testing, ROS testing, and superoxide testing. These are really important tests, oxygen-free radical tests. The last two, they're extremely important from a damage standpoint. We have plenty of S-acetylglutathione, and when you take it with selenium, it even gets better.
Wow.
So the idea is if you're older or you're worried about chronic illnesses, or you have a history of that, or your family history, or whatever, if you take S-acetylglutathione, add the selenium, you'll change many, many outcomes. You'll bring your health back to a level you're not familiar with.
Well, listen, Simply Natural, which is Richard Pearl's store, has an incredible location. It's off of University Drive, just north of Sunset Strip in the city of Sunrise. They are open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., and the number to call up there, they open at 11, so you can call at 11, 954-741-4045, 954-741-4045. You may see Steve there sometime to get one of those masks, because it sounds like you've got some great masks over there. All right, Richard Pearl, we'll talk tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Brian.
All right, take care. All right, Richard Pearl is a good guy. We've known Richard Pearl for many, many years. I would say I do not have your copybook. I am sure. I don't have your copy. But you don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need it right now. I promise you don't need it.
Okay.
Anyway, so, yeah. So things are looking up here in Florida. I know the news is trying to... See, that Steve, this is what you don't get. I've been telling you this for months. What the news agenda is, as opposed to what reality is. Television news ratings are through the roof, as are our ratings. We have more people listening now. You know, in news and in talk radio... Every 4 years, presidential election year is the high point of news watching in America, and even radio listening. It's like the World Cup. And as you get closer to the presidential election, news and radio listenership goes up and up and up. And the week of the presidential election, it's not unusual. We've had as many as 3 million people listen at a particular show, presidential election week in the past. That's coming sooner. The ratings on television, cable news, are through the roof. And they're through the roof because in many parts of the country, it's not like Florida. People are locked down. They can't get out. They're scared, and they're watching TV. And the media don't want you to leave home. They want you to sit in front of the TV watching them because the ratings are going up, and they're egomaniacs. And they have.
So how does that pertain to this situation?
But because the stories that in the spin and the angles they give you on the news are to keep you scared and to keep you at home and to keep you in front of your television. I was talking about this the first hour.
Don't you realize anytime Trump is involved in the moving the news of the day, that it's always exciting and it's always filled?
No, I'm not talking about just the Trump press. I'm talking all day the news agenda. And the television, anything on TV, what they don't want you to do is leave your house. Like I was talking about this in the first hour. There's a show called The Masked Singer, which is a very, very good singing show. And they have celebrities who wear costumes. You can't see who they are. They come out and sing. You got to try to identify who that. Sarah Palin was on this season. You know, it's a pretty good show. And and I watch it every week. It's on Wednesdays. It comes on like 8:00 at night on Wednesday. I watch it before bed every Wednesday night. And it's escapism from all this pandemic and crisis going on. Every commercial break was a commercial about coronavirus, and they said sometimes, stay home, be safe, stay home. The television, they don't want you to leave. And the news is on television, and that's part of the don't leave.
As long as Trump is involved in that issue, it's going to be filled, no matter what Trump says.
No, but the news, most of the news coming out with coronavirus is positive. But the mainstream media that you watch don't share the positive news. They don't want you to hear the positive news. I give you a great example. The other day, Fox News had one of the most irresponsible stories they've ever had. There was a meatpacking plant somewhere in the Midwest where someone had corona, right? And that's a news story. So what do? This is coming back after the break. Is the food supply at risk? Is the food supply? And they spent a day talking about scaring the crap out of people.
That's standard practice with news, of teasing with a controversial...
They had an entire day or two of discussion about it. They're trying to scare people. They want people to be scared. They're irresponsible. It's one thing to...
I would say, let me make a statement and have you disagree with it if you disagree. I would say that not only that there's an element of them trying to scare people, but more important than that, they are hoping that this is the issue that they're going to bring up that's finally going to work when all the others didn't, the impeachments.
Well, hopefully Fox isn't trying to get rid of Trump. Like, I give you an example. On 9/11, yeah.
It's not a question of Fox getting rid of Trump. It's a question of they will do anything to...
Yeah. Well, let me give an example of what they're doing. You're talking about it bleeds, it leads, and exciting.
Yeah.
There's a crisis going on of many levels, really an economic crisis more so than a health crisis. Well, I'm explaining to you what the media is doing and how they're irresponsible. For them to say, okay, somebody tested positive at a meatpacking plant, is the food supply at risk? Is irresponsible and causes a panic. On 9/11, they don't do this anymore. They stopped doing it. But for many years, MSNBC ran NBC News' live coverage of September 11th all day, every September 11th for many years. There was one woman who's not on MSNBC anymore. She's at another network. I can't remember which one. Her name's Ashley Banfield. And she was with MSNBC on 9/11. And I saw this every year. She was out in the streets during the attack, before the towers both fell. And she's terrified. And she's in front of a school. And she runs up. I can't remember if it was a firefighter or a police officer. It was one or the other. Are you evacuating the schools? Are you evacuating the schools? She says, this was live on TV. There are reports that there's bombs in the sewers. Are there bombs in the sewers? NBC cut away from her and they never went back because she was causing a panic. She was hysterical and causing a panic. The spin that all the television news are doing with coronavirus is to cause fear and panic in people, and it's irresponsible. Okay, so are these commercials. Stay home. Do not leave. Be safe. Stay home. This is all irresponsible and causing people to be afraid. And the new I was talking. There was this witch, the White House correspondent for NBC News.
Give me beating this into the ground. Let me do a little offshoot of
Well, let me finish this one thing and do the. There was the NBC News White House correspondent yesterday was doing her report on the lawn of the White House to Andrea Mitchell, wearing a mask. She's by herself. She's social distancing, and she's outside, and she's wearing a mask. What's the point of that? To frighten people. That even at you know what I'm talking about. The news media are scaring you, not just you, everybody, and trying to panic people. And they're irresponsible, and things are not bad as they say.
They don't need to worry about panicking people if the prohibitions are lifted, and if all of a sudden people go to get haircuts and all this kind of stuff, and a handful, half a dozen people come down with corona, the media doesn't have to do a thing. The news will take care of itself. And I can't imagine that you don't understand that the Democrats would love nothing better than to have
yeah, they want people to get sick when the country's opened up. Yeah.
Forget sick.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Let's take a break. We'll be back.
103 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
Hey ladies! Obviously not the Beastie Boys, but it is Dr. Matez here. Are you tired of being tired? Are you sick of feeling sick? Are you frustrated with your weight? Wish you had a libido? Or the sex life you used to have? If this sounds like you, I'm sorry to tell you that you are suffering ravages of the process known as menopause. But I'm thrilled to tell you that with my 2 decades of experience in age management medicine, I offer safe and effective therapies that will completely reverse the menopausal process.
I gotta do Youngerman. I gotta do Youngerman.
Feel good again.
I gotta do Youngerman since you don't have your phone.
And if you want to feel young again,
don't worry.
Call me as soon as possible at the Boca Raton Center for Age Management at 561-953-5490. That's 561-953-5490, or visit our website at hormonetherapybocaraton.com.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide
What?
world is
You need that.
You've heard the jingle and seen the commercials, and that's right. You will get the best night's sleep you've ever had with a My Pillow. Have you not gotten your My Pillow yet? Right now is the best time to do it.
That's right, Brian. Hey guys, this is Brian's wife, Kathy, and this is the best time to get a My Pillow. They have amazing deals. Take advantage of them now.
Go to mypillow.com, click the radio listener link, and you will see all these great deals. Like the buy one My Pillow, get one for free. There's a BOGO offer right now on the Giza Dream Sheets. Buy one set of My Pillow Giza Dream Sheets and get the second set free.
You gotta love BOGO deals. They're the best. And you can take advantage of so many right now at mypillow.com.
There's a lot of other deals too. Again, go to mypillow.com, click on that radio listener link, and you've got to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout to get these incredible deals. So go right now to mypillow.com, click the radio listener special. Make sure to use that promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout to take advantage of all of the great deals. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. Make sure to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, 1-800-716-4879.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world is mypillow.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right, now it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold Report. William Youngerman, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How you doing?
Great. How the metals looking today?
Metals are looking very good, very strong after that little pullback that we gave everybody a buying opportunity to take advantage of, as metals like to do. They like to not go straight up, but they do like to test some of those support areas. We went down, tested the support areas yesterday and this week. Got gold down to about $1,655 very short term, and then it started turning around with a vengeance and going back up again. Yesterday we saw gold get up to $1,725 again, and then closed up $26.90 yesterday. That was at $1,714.10 on the close. Silver was up 21 cents yesterday, closing at $15.06, well above the $15 number.
Platinum was up $13 at $761, and palladium closed up $16 at $1,864. This morning we have continued to rise, pushing towards the 1750 number. We got up to 1734 so far this morning. Pulled back a little bit right now. We're up $9.50 on gold at 1723.60. Silver got up to $15.58 this morning, and right now it's up 28 cents at $15.35 the ounce. Platinum got up to $785, up $4 right now at $765, and palladium is up $46 at $1,910. So markets are doing very well and pretty much what we've expected them to do in this kind of environment. Our next challenge for the gold, of course, is to get through 1,800, but the real challenge going forward, or the real the number we have in sight with right now for gold is the 2011 highs of around $1,949. So that being said, I think we will challenge that number certainly this year.
You know, it's amazing because what's going on economically is so strange, right? With the oil is almost free, you know, and unemployment's so high, and it's proof yet again that gold is money. It will always be money. It has always been money, and there is never a bad time not to buy it. So listen, give William Youngerman a call. His number, toll-free from anywhere, no matter where you're located, by the way. If you're outside of South Florida, he can still help you and do business with you. 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com. And, of course, you can stop in person, located in Boca Raton, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road on the first floor of the Bank of America building. All right, William Youngerman, we will talk tomorrow.
Okay, just want to remind everybody that if you haven't been in our offices, we have a very safe environment.
Oh, yes.
For you to do business, and we are there from 10:30 till 4 each day now.
Okay, that's great. All right, take care, William Youngerman. We'll talk tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Again, WilliamYoungerman.com online. All right, so that's all good news, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
That's the good news you've been looking for. Yeah.
Every day is good.
Well, I don't know. It'll be better news when we get the that everything's back to normal.
I don't know how quick that's going to be. I had visions. I've been looking at this thing far too much of a linear thing. You know, there's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end. It doesn't seem to be playing out in that symmetric.
We're in the beginning of the end.
Is that what this is?
We're the beginning of the end. The beginning of the end. And the end is when we're back to normal.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I know. I don't like this.
Maybe, as long as it's not the biblical one.
No. The end of when things get back to normal. Because I get out and about a lot. I have not changed much of any of my routine that I would normally do. Very little. And you're not getting out as much.
Well, because I've got a producer who scares me to death every day.
I'm doing the opposite. What are you talking about? I'm telling you everything's fine, and you're not hearing it, I guess. So you don't get out as much as I do. And I because of what's going on, right? You're kind of isolated more than most people. And I think the isolation's getting to you. You're getting like Tom Hanks on the island. You're going to be talking to talking to the soccer ball, but before it goes on. But most people I'm coming in contact with, which are everywhere I go, are out. They're excited to be out, and boom. I mean, I travel any place I would normally travel to. Walmart, Publix. I go to the stores. You can't. They're all closed. I would get a haircut today. If they were open today, I would get a haircut without any worries.
I think everybody in South Florida has that same thought in mind. I think the day they open the barbers,
that'll be a big day.
Rush on.
That'll be a big day. There'll be a social distancing line. And I told you there's a gauge. See, people think I'm weird about this, but I have a good gauge that I keep looking at to when things are going to get back to normal in Florida. Now, in South Florida, other than the tourist areas and the beach, most things are back to normal. You can't get your hair cut. Restaurants are on takeout and things like that. But most things are back to normal. Most people are working in one way, shape, form, or another. But tourism's the biggest part of the Florida. They'll be opening soon. When the barbershops open, the theaters will open. Yeah. But I've been telling you.
Of all the things, that's the thing I think I miss the most.
Yeah, I don't miss the movie. I go to movie theaters like once every 2 years, you know. But the theme parks in Orlando are the things I'm looking at. And there was a big change that just happened at Universal Studios in Orlando. The Disney World and Universal, the tourist industry is the number one part of the economy. No, you can't. No, they're closed. You can't go. But I follow things in the news. And at Universal Studios Orlando, people get, because of the internet, you get photographs inside the parks, even though they're closed. At Universal Studios Orlando, around all of the attractions in the theme, and they have 2 theme parks, right? On the ground, they have put the social distancing signs on the ground, the big stickers you see in a lot of stores. They have all over Universal Studios Orlando, they put the social distancing stickers, so when people are in line, they maintain the 6 feet. That means they plan on being open soon. They plan on opening for business soon, or they wouldn't be doing that. And I don't know about Disney, I haven't seen doing that yet, but Universal Studios Orlando did. They are planning on opening, and they're planning on opening soon, and they're making plans for it. And the theme parks are all in with the politicians, all right? They big employers, they got a lot of juice with the politicians, you know. And those are the things I've been looking at to get an idea of when things are opening. And when I saw Universal has the social distancing thing set up for the lines of their attractions already, that tells me they plan on being open very, very soon. Yeah. Those are the kind of things I look at. I don't go to Fox News to find out what's going on, because you won't find out what's going on.
You don't think that what's going on in the news
It's all fake.
affects
It's all fake.
decision? It's all fake?
No. The news isn't affecting any of it, because this state is controlled by Republicans. And what's going on in the news is fake. It's just like when Chris Cuomo came out of the basement pretending to have been in isolation when he was busted out of isolation on Easter by the bicyclist. No, it's fake. What you're seeing on television is fake, out-of-touch people.
Blown away all my
I've been telling you.
the integrity of the news business.
Please. I've been telling you not to watch that garbage. It's all... every story... I do turn on... I watch mostly One American News now, but I do watch Fox as well. Every story has a negative... Unless you're at night during the prime time. I'm talking about their daytime stuff. Everything is negative.
Does Trump look tired to you?
No, he looked great last night. Why? He looks tired. Well, he's got a crisis going on. Pence looks tired.
That's a different question. I didn't ask that.
Pence looks tired, not Trump.
Pence looks tired?
Pence has looked pretty rough the last couple weeks. I think. Yeah.
He's got a lot of the burden of the responsibility on him.
Yeah. I got a couple clips here. This was John Kerry was on MSNBC yesterday. This jerk, listen to this.
Welcome aboard. Coronavirus may be America the world's great wake-up call with respect to the challenge of climate.
Climate change. So I don't know what. Yeah, listen.
Coronavirus may be America the world's great wake-up call with respect to the challenge of climate, because this is coming at us. If you think pandemics are bad today, wait till you have the warming at a greater level than it is now. We're headed there.
See, now John Kerry's with you. He is sheltering in place in isolation in one of his 12 mansions that he owns 12 mansions. At least he did when he ran for president.
Every scientific report and judgment shows that we are heading into amazing negative impacts. The feedback loops on the Earth are just horrendous right now. I'm not going to go through them all, but so that's the meaning of the deaths thus far.
The feedback loops. I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, exactly. Whatever those are. So, I guess they're the loops that feed back. They're the loops that give feedback. Yeah, what is it? Well, it was a long interview, and what he was talking about is they think that people don't trust scientists, the climate scientists, and they haven't been able to sell their global warming scam because people don't trust scientists. So what he's hoping is that coronavirus will bring confidence in science and scientists back to people, so they'll go along with their climate change scam. And I don't think when I see the three leading medical people that we hear from are the CDC guy, Birx, and Fauci. No one likes these people. Not the people that like Trump. The global warming has caused a distrust of science. People don't trust scientists because of they keep using them to hype global warming. Yeah. Yeah, and then de Blasio yesterday, he had a brilliant idea.
The vibrant, beautiful life of this city again. The first thing we will do is we will have a ticker tape parade down the Canyon of Heroes for our healthcare workers and our first responders.
Oh my goodness, that sounds smart.
We are working over
Yeah, he does. He's getting ripped for that one. Everyone says that's a bad idea.
It doesn't seem to me in the spirit of what we're trying to do.
Yeah,
Straighten out the environment is gonna fill the environment with all kinds of
yeah, yeah, exactly. It makes a lot of sense. And in large crowds, yeah. Yeah, well, he's a Democrat. Yeah. Well, listen, we're out of time.
Oh, gosh, I just sat down a second ago.
It seems like it.
Really flies.
It does. It does.
We thank you for joining us. Yes, we will be back to do it all over again tomorrow, Friday, the end of the week's TGIF show. On behalf of Brian, I'm Steve, and until tomorrow, God bless America.
Frank, the owner of Ace Hardware Deerfield and Beach Ace Hardware, wants you and your family to be
All right, guys, take care.
protected
Make sure you
during the
subscribe, all
coronavirus
right?
Pandemic, and has an incredible